Woo! I don't know about you, but the way this subject matter is going, we may have another classic on our hands. We may have another classic, buddy. We're gonna get down into it.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
By the power of Grayskull!
Yeah, we got to call all the heroes for this one. You know, how could I say this? How could I truly say this shit? You know, shout out to Manosphere Highlights Daily for posting two videos. One about North Korea's newly elected president, who's an anti-feminist, and this other video about a black girl who's a feminist and thinking that women should be paid for their housework. You know what's real? You know what's real crazy about that shit? Women got paid for their housework. It was called a productive husband. See, we're going to take a really deep look into feminism and how it fucked up the minds of people. Literally. Literally. So, that being said, and everything's being fair, why talk about feminism in its totality, Officer Faulkner? Well, I'll tell you why. When you know the ideology of your opponent, then you know how to come at them accordingly. I'm going to say it again for the Negroes in the back. When you know the ideology of your opponent, you know how to come at them accordingly. Somebody write that shit down in the chat, please. When you know the ideology of your opponent, you know how to come at them accordingly. See, one thing about feminism is that feminism cannot exist when patriarchy is not present. Oh, we got the lieutenant in the building. We got Mel. We got KJ Eternal 22. We got Caleb. We got Jay Cleveland Green. See, a lot of people don't understand this concept called feminism. The reason why I take offense to feminism because it gives women an excuse not to be a lady. You wanted equality. You didn't want the safety of the man. See, women do not possess the strength nor the strategic mind that the male had to do or had to possess in order to traverse this fucking earth when it was in its prehistoric and prehistory stages. Oh, but women can do whatever men can do. When did men ever say we could do everything that women can do? Let's back up for a minute. When did men say that? How many of you were in the chat room when I had that classic with Miss T85? Give me a woo if you were there. Give me a woo. Give me a woo, goddammit, woo in the chat if you were there. Because we're going to listen to this shit. And don't worry, I'm going to clip that bitch and I'm going to put it back in there so I can make more money and more AdSense, and I'm going to make her famous. Notice, we never try to do everything that women try to do. Not even the homosexual men. They didn't try to do every single thing women try to do. You know what was the worst part about it? One of the basic questions I asked Miss T was, when do y'all check other women? You don't. And that's part of the feminist ideology. You can do no wrong. You are God walking earth. You are all from Themyscira and your warrior women. You can do it all. Feminist ideology has robbed women of their femininity for so long that you didn't have it and you don't even miss it. You really think that your great grandmothers who were working in the home, taking care of the kids, was slavery? Now, one of you motherfuckers ever mentioned what your great grandfather did when he had to till the land? When he had to tip the damn cows? When he had to go hunt for food? Especially during scarcity. And see, women, especially feminists, love to omit certain parts of history. You cannot be a feminist unless you're willing to omit history. Remember that. That's going to come back soon. Remember when Miss T said that black women were being killed by black men? Since when? You still outnumber us. Since when? Not only are you preferred for jobs, but then you get the jobs and you don't even do the work. I don't make me stutter because I'm gonna sound like a Baltimore club mix. Because I'm glad you said that, Jay. Where are all the feminists going to fight in Ukraine right now? They're not going to, if America got invaded right now as we speak, there are only but, 5 women I could think of off the back of my hand who would actually pick up a rifle and fight. And the only reason they would do it is because they're fucking military, former military, or cops. There are some cops that would not pick up the rifle and fight. Notice how feminism never talks about warfare, but they talk about the military. Well, why can't women go to Ranger School? Because we know Ranger School will blow your ass up. Hey, where's my lieutenant? Where's the lieutenant? Where's Joe Average Brother? Where's the lieutenant? Give me a woo if you're in the chat. Because I have a burning question to ask the old lieutenant. There's a reason why I have a lot of military personnel, former military, retired military, police, fire, armed security, unarmed security. I want to know how many women right now are signing up to be PJs. How many women do you think, Lieutenant, do you think, Commander, that could sign up to be PJs and actually pass the course? Not one woman has truly passed Ranger School. They forged the damn scores. There was a whole damn investigation about it. Hit that like button. Hit that Cash App. Hit that Super Chat. Because we're going to burn up about this. And I'm not on some, oh, I hate women shit. You're right. G.I. Jane is a myth. But notice, men always respected childbirth and the agony women went through. So much so, we work harder to make her life easier, especially when pregnant. How many times has your boy here, when I got let go of my first police job, and a black motherfucker told me it was never meant for you to be, maybe it wasn't meant for you to be a cop, which I used as fuel and motivate me to go to the BPD. And as soon as I got my damn blues on, I went to that same motherfucker a year later, shook his hand and say, maybe you're right. Maybe it wasn't meant for me to be a cop. And he looked like he saw a fucking ghost. Right there. J. Cleveland Green II said, look, I'm a security training officer for a security company. Most do not want to be employed. And a quick way to say they are not emotionally equipped to deal with the job requirements. What kind of security? Armed security? Unarmed? Because hell, it's a hell of a thing. What's up, Kareem? Hey, Kareem, you trying to be a man today? Hell no, she's gonna tell me. How you doing, love? Now, in the spirit of being me, let's say you do have the 1 or 2% of women who can pass Ranger School. It's the fucking feminist flakes who make it harder for her. Oh yeah. But see, you hate women, especially black women, Officer Faulkner. How? When I'm calling a lot of you lazy motherfuckers out. Shit, if you think I'm hard on women, you should see how I look at men. But the one thing I do have to ask these feminists out there, why is it that you always want to get the provider role and the provider jobs, but still want to look for a provider? A man does not want another man. Sorry. Sorry. Even the feminists, even the homosexual males, one of them got to be beta. One of them. Nice. There's a reason why I respect a lot of security, armed and unarmed, because I've been in those roles. And you catch a lot of hell in those roles. Especially when people want to call you rent-a-cop. But yet, some same damn so-called rent-a-cops are the same guys who got to pull the same guy who called them that out the fire when bullets are fucking whizzing through the air. What's up, Iman Perry? He said, cook these feminists off, so Faulkner. the male and the female feminists. You goddamn right we're going to do that. We're about to get some All Might in our system, baby. What does All Might tell them? Tell them what we got to do, All Might. Tell them that we got to do this.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
See, you know the reason why this feminist shit went fucking awry in the black community is because when you don't have a struggle, you don't have a reason to stay around. You forgot about the fucking sacrifices your men made to make you fucking look beautiful. Your men said, don't get that processed hair anymore. Let's grow our froze out and be black and proud. See, James Brown never said, let's be black and stupid. Let's be black and proud. But those same women that we put on a fucking pedestal, use it, got on that pedestal, took a squat and defecated all over their fucking men. The first fucking chance they got. But then you want to talk about, well, why don't the men want to come back to the community? To be ridiculed? To be embarrassed? That's what I'm talking about. You lead, I follow. I want a woman to love me the same way if we were in a mansion, and I want her to love me the same way if we had to sleep in a tent or a cardboard box. See, a woman is supposed to be the catalyst for a man's actions. You're supposed to fill that man with so much of your love and your kindness and your caring, your nurturing nature that he's supposed to conquer nations for you in your name. Did you know that many of the fucking places on the planet were conquered in the name of the fucking female? Now, shout out to Manosphere Highlights Daily again, when he had the female up there talking about we use wages and capitalism. Capitalism, was created the feminists. No, it wasn't. Patriarchy created the feminists. Because last time I checked, you go down into fucking Latin America, or you go down in some parts of Africa or Eastern Europe, feminism doesn't exist. Right now, let's look at Ukraine. Does feminism exist there? LAPD SWAT 1, thank you for your support. He said the epitome of manhood, 6 June 1944, D-Day. My salute to you, Officer Fuck. We got to get the power. Grayskull in this joint, man. We got to get the power. Come on, y'all got to feel the power with me, boys.
By the power of Grayskull.
Thank you for your support. NCO, thank you. See, Kareem said, nope, only ones fighting are the men, even the trans are fighting. See, I don't believe that women have no place. Women have a very important role, but it was the feminists who defecated on it. When you had the role of the first teacher, You are the one to cultivate our new warriors, our new teachers, our new inventors, our new engineers, our new generals, our next line of presidents. What's up, Nino? See, you're right. You're right, Cleveland. Feminism is a first world problem. How many of those feminists that you hear in America say we're going to go over there and we're going to go kick Putin's ass in Ukraine? Not one budging out that goddamn seat. Not one. Not a one. But for some odd reason, feminism says we treat them badly. Even during the civil rights movement, majority of the stuff was carried out by the men because they knew how dangerous it was. Very few women went on those bus rides with their men. Dr. King and Malcolm X were some of the bravest fucking men you know. They said your job is to take care and protect these children. My job is to go out there and change the world with your support. See, a real woman takes care of home so her man can conquer the world. Damn, I need to trademark that shit. Somebody write that shit in the chat so I don't forget. A real woman's job is to take care of home so that man can have the secure and support and the stability to go conquer the world. How the fuck can I conquer the world if I'm thinking you're fucking every man in the block? Damn right he's going on a goddamn shirt. A proper woman will secure a home for me to go out and conquer. I don't need you. Like, I had a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend who one time told me, when I asked her, if a noise was in the house, what would you do? Well, I'll come down there and check it with you. Wrong. You get the fuck out the house, you get the spare gun, and you protect them damn kids. You get them all in one room, because if I fail, it's your job to protect the family and the lineage. You get them kids to safety. You guide them. I'll take care with my death or my victory. That's enough for you to get the fucking safety. And just in case, call the boys to bring me back up. But yo, we got far away from that. But how many of these single women out here, single women go to sleep afraid? How many of these single women out here go to sleep afraid? So much so, they live in a house full of fucking 3 to 5 women. Buying houses with no protector. And then, here's the crazy part. The average woman is not even buying a working dog, like a Corso, a Pit Bull, a Shepherd, a Rottweiler, a Doberman. Where's your security? Speaking of security, you're speaking to the new LLC owner of Black Lion Security Firm, by the way. Oh, you thought I wasn't going to have... And also, Black Lion Security Firms.com. You're speaking to the owner of it. Just to let you know, we're going to do big things really quick. See, the one thing about this is, shout out to Iman Perry. We got to screenshot that shit. See, I know that I'm not going to be the most liked. I definitely put in more support for other people's channels than people support me because I'm that dude. I show appreciation, just like everybody in my chat appreciates me. Thank you. See, this is the real problem of feminism. It steals your life energy. It leaves you in a state of psychosis. I'm strong and independent. If so, go to Ukraine and fight. You think with my background, the Ukrainian president wouldn't make me a fucking commander of a troop? You got dudes with no fucking military experience from England and all over Western Europe to go to Ukraine. They look at my fucking resume and they said, you're commander. They look at Joe Average and they be like, oh, you're going to be a commander. You think they're not going to look at, like, you think they're not going to look at LAPD SWAT and say, yeah, commander. And even Kareem said, that's what leadership and masculinity looks like. Yes, Mr. Charles Hall. Exactly. I'm sorry to say this, but feminism was not a dream. It was a nightmare. So much so that your men cannot trust you. You're home alone, lonely. Nobody to protect you. There are so many strong, independent women I personally had to come to the rescue for. There are a lot of feminists out there who are still living because your boy intervened. I don't understand this. Why do you want to be in the role of a rough and tumble man? Why? You're allowed to be feminist because of rough men doing violence on your behalf. You can sleep comfortably. You can be all jovial. But not one damn time when it's time for you to pay it back in full are you going to come out your mouth and say that the men kept us safe. The men provided for us. What's the one invention that feminists used to change the world? I'll wait. You know why? Because women used to take pride in not inventing shit, raising the people who invented shit. See, the woman was satisfied being the teacher. She wasn't satisfied getting likes on fucking Instagram. She was so into her family, she didn't give a fuck about taking provocative pictures. She said, I didn't care about taking a goddamn vacation. There were babies to be raised. What's up, Mars? See, the women of yesteryear were hell of damn good women. What's up? The women of yesteryear were damn good women. Women of class. Women of dignity. They weren't perfect just like the men, but they knew their jobs, they knew their duty, and they took to it. There was a certain pride women used to have how their kids were dressed. There was a certain pride in the fact that they could make their kid read at 3. There was a certain pride they had of how neat and well put together their clothes were. What's up, Bart? Woo! I'm Rick James. There was a certain pride that women would go into the Singer sewing machine and create him. There was a certain pride that women would not allow a man in the kitchen. And she would create nourishment for the entire family. There was a certain pride when she would not allow another woman to send her fucking husband a plate, because she knew that the quickest way to a man's heart was his stomach. So she kept his stomach full and his nuts empty. There was a certain pride in this shit. But no, you know what happened? You wanted to be the man. You wanted to be the conqueror. You wanted to be the guy who had to go to war. You wanted to swing the nunchucks. It was you. It wasn't us. We loved to work for our family, even if it was to our death. To see a child and your wife's smiling face was the pride of a man's life. But that wasn't good enough for you, was it? That wasn't. See, feminism is the ultimate bullshit box. Because you wanted to have the equal jobs of men, but not the equal responsibility, accountability of men. I'm going to say it again. You wanted to have the equal jobs of men, but not the equal accountability or responsibility of men. You don't want to work the same way men have to work and compete. It's okay for men to be honest, but not a woman. It's important. You can be careless, but in the words of Vito Corleone, men can't be. Women and children can be careless, but men, no. No, 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 no. See, a lot of us in this world are not having those hard conversations, not only with the goddamn feminists, but our own damn children. Where's the importance of saying that you have a role. One chick I'm dating now, or going out with at least, try to say, well, there's no gender roles, but at the same time, you think men should provide. You put yourself in such a predicament that says you got your own home, you got a career, you got your degrees. What the fuck can I add? There is no surprise. There is no curiosity that is even hidden anymore. And let's say if I make 50, 60, 70, 80 to $100,000, you don't appreciate it. You don't appreciate the struggle that a man has to go through to even fucking earn or put forth money to get a house or pay a bill. Feminism ultimately means lack of appreciation for men and their efforts. You want to live all the spoils of war, but you don't want to get your hands dirty. You want to live in the peace and prosperity of the first world, but you don't want to vanquish the enemies of it. Amazing. But yet, you are the equal. Think about that. You want to live in the first world and talk about how violent shit is, but you're not going out there to vanquish the fucking villains. You're not going out there putting your lives on the line. Look at the tremendous efforts. Yes, you have a few women driving trucks, but they are the minority, the overwhelming minority. 88% of your police officers are male. 88% of your fucking military personnel are male. 93% of your firefighters, EMTs are male. 75% of your chefs. 80% of your architects. You don't like to build society. You want to just dwell within it. And then complain. Get the complete fuck out of here. I'm wondering, do y'all even appreciate men? Do y'all understand the contributions? Well, that's how men control women through the wages. So you think women should be paid for taking care of their own children, cleaning their own house, cooking their own food? You should get paid for that. Really? Even in the household chores, you're not doing the most. Let's take the modern day compared to the women of yesteryear, okay? And I talked to this female. I think a lot of fucking modern housewives are full of shit. You don't even have to wash your own dishes. You don't have to fetch water like my great grandmother did. You don't have to kill a chicken and pluck it, boil it, then pluck it, then gut it. You didn't have to wash clothes by hand. You didn't have to sew entire outfits together. What the fuck does a modern housewife have to do? Sit in front of the TV? Because half of you not even teaching your kids to read. Well, more than half, obviously. But then, the feminist virus, as we call it, has been steeped so deeply that we're supposed to accept it as norm. I'm looking all around Baltimore and the surrounding counties, and I see this show on Amazon Prime that they're coming out with Watch Out for the Fat Girls by Lizzo. I look at magazines and CVS, Rite Aid, and all these other stores, how she's battling and trailblazing, body positivity. Stop trying to convince men what they like. Why don't you actually ask men what they like and try to match it? Well, Mel, the pay gap has been debunked so many times. Women take jobs typically that don't pay shit. My ex-girlfriend about to put herself $60,000 in debt, including the other $40,000 to $55,000 in debt from her bachelor's, and she's trying to get her master's in some type of business degree to do what? Suffer more. You're in debt. I don't care what you make. Pay off your debts. You got so many men out there who got trades that pay more than what the fuck women who went to school for fucking damn near another fucking 10 years are earning. The same men that you would turn down now are the same fucking men 50, 60, 70, and 100 years ago women would throw themselves at. Feminism has made women so fucking illogical and delusional that you don't even know a good man if one walked right in front of you and slapped the shit out of you. And it's fucked up that there's women who would go look at a guy who's a plumber, and he could be suited and booted, going out, hanging out with your boy, and she'd be like, well, no, I can't tell my girls I'm dating a plumber. How much do you make? 65,000. This motherfucker makes $200,000 a year. Shout out to my boy Josh and my boy Mike. We went out to a Fridays in Towson, right? And we heard this little bartender who's 21, 22 years old talk some feminist shit to us. And they try to say, well, if y'all supposed to be so high value, my man Mike cut him off with the nastiest response. I make $155,000 a year. What say you? Shut them. And then you have some little fat white feminists come, well, a lot of y'all men, well, guess what? I refused. I had to come out with my inner Ric Flair. I spent more money on spilled liquor than what you make. But you talk yourselves out of husbands quicker than a motherfucker. Everybody's favorite mother trucker, A.L. Evans. Whoa! The rootin' is, tootin' is, shootin' is, texting on this side of the Mason-Dixon. But yet, you're 22, you're working as a fucking bartender, part-time at that, from her admission. You don't even know what you want to do with yourself. See, feminism also taught these ladies to to be in perpetual school, forever a student. And then the shameful part is they're not even working in their field. Modern women have made themselves obsolete. And it's not men's fault. It's feminism. You overestimate your role in the scheme of things and underestimate the role of men. And guess what? Men will say, why would I bother with a headache when I could pay $5 and relieve myself? Men have said, why deal with you when I could go on Pornhub or Twitter nowadays? Twitter's like a very nice cesspool nowadays. God damn. And a bottle of lotion or some KY from the fucking drugstore and relieve yourself. You're not even good to have relationships with. There's no growth. There's no nothing. Like I've said this. If you took away vagina for women, 99% of women you wouldn't speak to. Remember, my mother loves this show. What is it called? That old British show. What is it called on Netflix? Those women on there in that show had to be trained to be conversationalists. You don't even want to. You know what's funny? I was at my boy Darren's house. Darren loves his guns just like I do. And we always compare, trade, and go to the range. Even his wife started getting into it. She even became just as big as a Ravens fan as Darren. That's a woman who likes being married, who wants to please her man, regardless if it's up, down, or in between of how that marriage goes. She went for her HQLs. See, feminism took the competitive nature of being a woman away from women. You don't want to be in the best possible shape. You don't want to have, it's Bridgerton. My mother loves that shit. Even when I'm sitting down eating with her when I come visit, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, my God, the older women are schooling the younger women of how to get a man, how to get married. When is the last time you heard an older woman teach the younger women how to get married? How to keep a man? Yep, that's the show right there. But feminism told you you don't need to listen to them old bitches because them old bitches were slaves. They were happier than you. They still are. Even when their husbands went to the great beyond, they still hold tight to that husband with fond memories, with the insurance and money he left her to take care of her. All you bitches need is one bad cold and y'all done. You don't even have the backing of anything to take care of you. Now, what about the men? I always talk about the damn men. How the men need to be more manly. I don't care if you're living in your mom's basement, to living on your own or living in a mansion. Men still have to be men. We don't get a day off of being a man. We don't get a day off from being a provider. We don't get a day off from being a protector. But we can make excuses for you being sorry as shit. All the burdens of masculinity is put at our feet every fucking day. And for some of us, since we were little fucking boys. Some of us had to go through these fucking streets of some of these fucked up neighborhoods and go to the fucking store and bring back home a loaf of bread. I know I'm dating myself with this one, but shit, I was a little kid getting cigarettes for his mother. And those neighborhoods were not exactly nice. It's Baltimore, nigga. Think about it. How many goddamn people, even when you were in school, a girl could be a fucking tyrant and try to hit and fight all the boys, and she's gonna get her brothers, her cousins, and the whole damn block coming down to fight you. But yet, when you retaliate, you're the bad guy. Think about that. What the hell are you talking about? So many times I look at these women in the police departments, never married, bought houses, die alone. Like, who's gonna protect you? Do you even know what men want? But yet, you get upset when a man gets a sister from another culture, like a Jamaican, like an African, Asian, Afro Latina. You get mad at that because you think you have carte blanche and ownership over black men when you really don't want them at all. You really don't. It's funny how I'll get a feminist trying to argue me down. You're putting all the blame on black women. No, a lot of the blame needs to go on us because we thought y'all were down for us. That's our fault. We thought we could trust you to raise some proper children. That's our fucking fault. We thought that you were not going to go and sell us out to the fucking white court system when it comes to child support. That's our fault. See, these are L's we got to take and we hold very dearly. We believed you is one of our biggest sins we have to eat. We have to live with that. We have to eat the fact that a lot of us were not born in two-parent households, so we never enjoyed male leadership. We never seen male interaction. We never seen male cooperation, and you wonder why we are living in a fucking hellhole right now. That's our fault. We were the fools. You're damn right, Dre. We were the fools in trusting you. That's our greatest sin. We thought that you had our fucking backs, but lo and behold, when you came to hug us, you just said we got so close that we couldn't miss when we used the knife to fucking stab us in it. You're right. We're the ones who were simping. We're the ones that made an excuse for a crack fiend mama. You still gonna be a black queen mama. We're the ones that allowed you not to be blamed. We're the ones that allowed you to abuse us. We're the ones to let you literally get away with murder instead of calling the fucking cops on you and let you be arrested, let you be accosted, let you be put in a position of vulnerability. It's our fault that we forgot about our younger brothers and thought that you were going to have their best interests at heart. It's our fault. But I hope Miss T is listening, because I want to see if you could say the same thing of what black women's fault was, what feminism destroyed the black community. But of course, I'm not going to get that from none of you fucking feminists, because you can't exactly say what you did wrong. Not at all. Because to admit failure was to say and state that your fucking system of an ideology was stupid, regressive, and what a failure. Make sure you get them likes up. Share this if need be. Support if you feel inclined. Please donate. Woo! Brother Love 215 says paying the toll to Maryland. This shit is fire. Oh man, we gotta get the woo man out for real quick. Gotta get the woo man out.
Woo!
Thank you for the support. See, the biggest L's that we have to take, that we thought that you weren't gonna fucking betray us. We're the ones who picked up rifles to free you. We're the ones that always brought you out of bondage. We're the ones who took on the ass whoopings and whooped some ass for you. But when a man says, can I see my kids? Can I see my son? Can I see my daughter? No man needs to beg to see his goddamn children. Somebody write that shit in the chat. No man should ever have to beg to see his goddamn children. And that's fucked up. But then when them children become a curse, you want to blame the father. But if the child makes it to be a millionaire, oh, I did it all by myself. Pick a fucking struggle. See, a lot of you might know this, but don't know it. You know what the word Satan means? It means the great enemy. Okay? See, the word Satan really means enemy, the great enemy. The one that accosts me. The great deceiver. The great enemy. The one that accosts me. Do I think all black women are our enemy? Hell no. You have some damn good black women out there. But the overwhelming majority have told you they're your enemies. Have told you they had nothing but contempt for you. Hell, how many of these motherfuckers get almost $1,000 a day just live streaming, supporting the murder and the injustice of black babies? We looking at you, YouTube, with your phony ass guidelines. It's funny how certain channels get flagged for bringing big up in black men and big up in the supportive black women, but the ones who talk about the destruction of our community, they get to be rich. You get to give them financial compensation. You get to invest in their fuckery. You incentivize their hatred. Why is that, YouTube? Why is it? It's disturbing. It's disturbing to see grown-ass women still following the silly-ass doctrine that has failed you for 60 fucking years. This has left women in a vulnerable, lonely, unhappy, miserable, almost neurotic state. I'm just wondering, is it worth the fact that your daughter never married? Is it worth the fact that you'll never have grandchildren? Think of how pathetic that is, that your counterparts from other cultures and races have grandchildren, but your grandchild is a dog. I want you to think about that. Was telling that girl to go to college and not depend on a man, was it worth it? Because you put her in debt and no man is there to help her pay it off. Was it worth it to tell her to go to school and to live her best life when she's 35 and nobody looks at her anymore because she's been slutted out by Tom, Dick, and literally Harry? You don't care. You just don't. It's shameful. Very shameful. Especially to have a bunch of women in a state of what? Unprotection? Uncovered? But you're my equal, right? Then equally get out there and defend the world. Equally go out there and do what men have been doing for all of history, to right that which is wrong, to fight injustice, and to serve all mankind. Do what men have been doing all this long. When has feminism ever done that? I'm looking at the black feminists especially. When has feminism given you what the fuck it promised? When has feminism given you anything? Hot girls on chat. I didn't need anybody to promote no hot girls for me. And this is what I'm talking about. You get these lame brains coming in these spaces trying to interrupt some real provoking thought, some real thought provoking speech. You know, it's funny. I think tomorrow I'm going to open up with a State of the Manosphere address. Because the state of the Manosphere is in really, really bad shape. We're going back into factions. We're going back into either, you know, being ultra-capitalists or fascists. We're almost looking from conservative to basically communism. We got away from sitting at the table and airing shit out and clearing up some misnomers to just making propaganda against each other. And we do not win from fucking shit like that. We don't. We don't. A damn shame, I tell you. Now, if you want to come up here, open up for a little bit. And this is for people who agree, disagree. I'm going to give you your time to speak, especially to the people who disagree, because I want to know why. Inquiring minds want to know. I'm sorry. I tell a feminist right now, where's your children? Where's your legacy? I was dating who should not be named, and she said, why can't I hyphenate my name and keep my father's legacy? If you want to honor your father, you bring him strong, fertile, successful children. You give him strong, knowledgeable children. If you want to honor him, you don't hyphenate your fucking name, because you're no longer under your father's covenant. You're under mine. You want to hyphenate your name? Well, I still want to be my dad. No, you're not your daddy's legacy anymore. Your dad, as he does, your daddy not coming there to go answer what goes bump in the night. For too many times, we allow feminists to get away with this trope. I don't know what to say for you. What's up, Chaos?
What's good, man? Man, it's a long time since I came up here first, man. But damn, Charles, I know you were training to do something, but damn, you got it, bro. You got something better. You're a protective firm now. Now, if I need anything, I can pick up the phone, man. You might have to leave a number if you change number, so I can call for something, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I'm starting my pilot program as we speak with two of my wrestlers. Yeah, okay. I forgot. We don't go back in the community and lift others up. I forgot that.
Okay. Good.
You know, we're not supposed to do that, you know.
Okay. Cool.
But, you know, I'm trying to lead by example and see a leader leads from the front, a supervisor leads from the back barking orders. Mm-hmm. But we forgot that. Yeah. Why not take them young black boys with no records instead of them begging for money or looking into a life of crime just to support themselves? Why not give them an opportunity?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Excellent, 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 excellent. I'm happy. I'm happy. Yeah. So, and it's gonna be something very special when April comes. You just wait. I'm saying.
Hmm.
But feminists, let's take a real quick. A lot of things been going circling, Charles. I know me and you just talked earlier. I don't know if you wanna resurface this or you wanna leave that another time. You know, the thing with the. You get me?
I'm here.
Okay. Well, remember we talked about this thing with the boy that's found in the mud that's put in jail. A lot of people question should she do time in jail, like serious time. And I'm thinking when America that they really lock women in numbers for finding out that they're trying doing things that's mischievous and very much problematic and dangerous.
Never.
Never. So, if we had a question if she should do time in jail, then you already lost. This should not be something to be discussing. We already know that a lot of black boys get already bad rep as is. And I'm a proponent, and I'm always gonna stick on my guns that these boys need their fathers. These women need to give custody and give full custody to the fathers. This should not be a discussion. Any woman that keep pushing back at this point, I look at you as a problematic woman. You're selfish, and you want to make son husbands to the point where you're making more predators. Screw what all these other women talking about. Say we're not gonna bring them out or bring them to the world at all. I say good. You know what I'm saying? Go over there and try that and see what the fuck happens. So
I want to bring up something important that you just said, Charles, about the
What you
legacy
whispering for?
and legacy.
What you whispering for?
And,
What
huh?
for?
Huh?
What are you whispering for?
Right, mute up.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not whispering. Yeah. Now, can y'all hear me clear? I know y'all could. Right?
go ahead.
Yeah, you
All right.
good.
All right. Yeah. This is something telling the fathers definitely need to teach their daughters when they finally find the man they're gonna marry. You're now your husband's, wife, meaning you're now no hyphen on his last name. You're part of his legacy now. My legacy is the grandkids, but your legacy is giving him children and continuing that lineage now of it. You're his responsibility now. It's no longer mine. I gave you to him. It means no hyphen on your last name. You go all the way. You're not your individual person. And I think that's something fathers definitely need to teach their daughters and stuff because like we got a couple of fathers that send for their daughters too much and stuff and afraid to tell them the real true matter. You're technically his property. Sorry, I hate to say it like that, but that's what it is. I'll teach my own daughter this. You're his now. And stuff. I trusted him to take care of you. Now you take care of his full last name, everything, his lineage, and everything. I've done my job raising you to be a wife, so you can be a wife to a good man, and that includes you taking his last name. You're no longer your individual identity, and that's the problem right now. Too many. We got too many dudes simply for that too much.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But the problem is, they're never gonna accept that. Like, basically, it's gonna have to be with us. We're gonna have to make changes on this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do nothing for a woman unless you're getting paid or late. If she's not your woman, you don't do nothing for her. You got complete cut off. I don't care what it is. I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but if you see him getting hurt in the street, you're not my woman. I don't care.
Whoa, hold on a second.
You're gonna have to be that. No, but I mean, you're gonna have to be that to get them to even. Think about it. To get them to even come back to the table, to even consider letting you have a say so in your child's life or anything, you're gonna have to completely turn your back.
I agree.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Either we lead or we leave.
Right.
Like I said, fuck apologizing. Stand with your guns. You don't need to be apologizing for anything you say. You stand by your word. That's all.
Yeah, definitely.
You the motherfucking asshole. Stand by it as an asshole.
Yeah.
Don't be putting around.
Right. I mean, like plain and simple. And don't call me to help you if another dude's getting on. That's your dude's problem. Well, oh, you don't have a man? Well, too bad. Should have had one.
Exactly. Matter of fact, have y'all seen this video from the channel called Atlantic Interviews? See two recently, man. Two women, homeless. One was 31, the other was 25. I just seen a recent new one, 25 years old, and like they was technically born into toxic shit. The 31-year-old, she would have got out of the street like homeless. She had a 50-year-old guy that was willing to marry her. She didn't want to marry him because of age gap.
Correct.
But the dude that she was with 5 years prior to today, that she wanted to marry, got killed. He was a street dude, probably known since he was a kid. So she choosing to be homeless, wasting this 50-year-old man's time because it's like a nope. Let me get out the street for a minute, whatever, just to find mental peace. And then talking about he couldn't understand my mental what? Are you stupid? Like this chick really, you know what? It's like I think I said earlier on the panel. It's like you have to see the Tyler Perry movies, how you got the supposed bad guy abusing the woman, and then you got that good guy that rescues her and shit. You see how attractive the Hampson guys that rescues her, right? Shamar Moore, Idris Elba, what's the other dude? Boris Kojo, like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in her mind, she wants to be rescued by the guy that she sexually attracted to. Unfortunately, the average Joe is going to rescue you, and you don't want him. So you'd rather be homeless with your dumbass pride. And I know
but
for a fact.
Want that. But
I know for a fact. Hold name. I know for a fact that if he doesn't even know she's homeless, but if he found out, he would still take her, clean her up, even fix her teeth if he has to take care of that woman. And these are the choices females choosing now.
I gotta pull you to the side on that one, Mel. In fact, I think I better drive you all the way down to Motown for this one, for this analogy. You remember the movie Lady Sings the Blues? Diana Ross, Billy D. Williams?
Mm-hmm.
What happened in the end?
I think I've seen that part. Then she chose a fucked up life or some shit. She got locked up in an institution just to get cured, and when she got out, like the dude that was actually that was played by Billy D. Williams was trying to rescue her, and she still chose a fucked up life.
Exactly.
Drugs and everything. Drugs and everything.
It was like based off Billie Holiday's life, but
that's what the movie about Billie Holiday's life. Yeah.
The point is, this is coming from an outsider who's saying this. Even though I'm black as y'all is, blacker than most of y'all in some cases, even though I'm whiter than some of y'all in some cases. That's another discussion for another time. Y'all do the math, try to figure that shit out. Anyway, the point I'm trying to say is they don't want to be around these dudes, but attention is a drug, is it not? With that being said, they don't want to be with that dude, but that dude at least is giving something that they want. He's wasting his time on these. Said individuals be wasting their time on these heifers instead of looking at them and realizing, wait a minute. Because what is it that it's like a, like how women think they can try to change a man, that like Florence Nightingale kind of thing. They think they can change a man.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the name. Or did you see like O'Shea's video with the Thailand dude who actually admitted? So yeah, watch this video on his channel. He actually out in a minute telling these chicks, "I'm not marriage material." He's a former mob boss too. Got messed up teeth.
Yeah, I'm getting to that. I'm gonna get to that actually. Yeah. I'm gonna get to that. Hold on. Like like how some women think they can just try to change. They can just get with a bad boy and try to change it for the better and shit. A lot of these dudes have that knight in shining armor kind of mentality. They're trying to rescue a woman from her own shit, but realizing you can't save somebody who doesn't want to be saved. I remember trying to help a few people. I realized, I gotta back away. Because how am I supposed to help somebody if they don't want to help themselves?
Exactly. Some of us been there. We done in our past. That's why I get so passionate about these dudes doing these simple shit. And I'm like, I can tell you the outcome is not a good outcome and stuff.
And not
You know,
only that, Mel.
you
Not
know
only that,
what the
Mel.
problem is, Namor and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I think there was discussions on Bernard's channel earlier. I forgot who was saying it on there about these guys just don't know when they invest in these type of women. No, they do know is the fact they invested so much time, so much is like they can't get out and stuff. It's like matter of fact, remember the movie The Wood?
Yes.
Yeah, the one that played Omar Epps, the younger Omar Epps in that movie. I remember the scene when they was in high school making that bet about who would get the pussy first. And he was talking about how he spent all this money and stuff on this chick and made some dumb analogy. So like a page from Alan Curry's book, The Possibility of Sex and stuff, how he invested all this money in this chick and thinking like, yo, you think I'm gonna spend all my money on this chick and stuff, and then wait for the next dude to get some ass after a while I invested? No, I'm not having that. All right, I'm gonna get that ass first. It's like that.
You know what?
And it's so sad. I was just thinking about that earlier. Like, damn, these dudes do know, but they just invested so much money and they thinking they're gonna cash out. And they're gonna cash out broke. Cash out when they're gonna cash out.
I mean, when you look at it as well, like I remember how you get passionate about it, but I also remember how some of that shit just riles you out. You know what I'm saying, fam? Because I remember a couple of times with some certain individuals here, not naming names, they kind of got to you. You got mad, and I had to put me and I remember Bruce Almighty had to put a stop to all that shit. But I understand where you come from because I've seen this shit. I see certain things like this just pisses you off because it reminds you of something. But the problem is, it's like a lot of dudes, and I'm not just directing it to you, but a lot of men are so hung up on this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there times. I mean, I'll be honest. There've been times where I'll see some shit. It gets me riled up, but I'm willing to check myself and like, wait. But giving it, and then I realize, you know, giving that kind of emotional energy, you lose. They're winning. Take your emotion out of this and look at this shit for whatever it is, and just like, nah, man, I'm not with that shit. Fuck out of here. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The whole shit that's going on, like in certain countries, like everybody talking what's going on in Ukraine, I've been completely indifferent to it. No, I'm not. I've had to be indifferent to it because I see it for what it is. Understand? Like, I'm not surprised because I've seen so much, all kinds of shit like that before in other parts of the world.
I'm gonna keep you a buck with that situation. I feel nothing towards it.
No, fuck you feelings. Tell me what you think.
Well, I think that's what I'm saying. That's my feelings towards the dude. I really kind of don't feel nothing because my thing is like I got my problems over here to worry about and stuff. And I heard a lot of other stuff that people don't even talk about what the Ukrainians were doing and stuff like that. And I'm like, the media's ready to make it seem like they are innocent so much. Like, I mean, I don't like war. Period. I don't like war, period. But you know what I'm saying. But there's always two sides to every story, and like we know the media always portrays certain things so hard that make it seem like one side's innocent over the other and stuff. And it's like, you know what? But I mean, it is, like you said. I mean, it is what it is. I don't like. I got my own problems to worry about over here in America where I'm going through.
I'll give you a better example. Because you know I'm Eritrean, right?
Yeah.
Check out what the fuck is going on in Ethiopia.
What's going on over there, brother?
You have that fucking civil war going on, not just in the north, but in the south as well. And that shit is spreading all over. Eritrea is involved in it. And you have other countries who are involved in it one way or another. I look at that shit. I look at all the people inside. I'm like, none of y'all are innocent. All y'all just guilty. You got your hands dirty. Everybody's just, everybody's been doing some shady shit. Mm-hmm. There's no good guy, bad guys in that.
Well,
just a lot of people who fighting for you got two groups just fighting over bullshit. But it got so out of control that now you have ethnic and tribal and regional shit that just been brought up, just similar to like what happened in Yugoslavia. And that shit that's going on in Ukraine, it's a similar thing, but it's a lot deeper than people think because nobody wants to look at the history and understand what the fuck is going on and how deep this shit goes.
Damn, man.
But we digress. But in the words of our favorite mother trucker, I digress.
Good.
Don't get mad at me. I try my best impression of AL Evans, but it's kind of hard to do that Southern drawl without sounding a little bit like Louis Armstrong sometimes. But back to our regularly scheduled bullshit. As far as the women go, let's not forget a lot of them are attracted to the certain types of drama and sadistic shit. And like A.L. Evans mentioned, they don't want fathers involved because, in fact, the system doesn't want the fathers involved because they want to continue that school to prison pipeline still flowing. Dre, you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you?
Definitely.
Charles?
Definitely. But it's the fact is, it's a control issue. And it's gotten to the fact is, I've never seen people, it's like, well, look, you made all the rules, you made all the decisions, everything went by your way. And at the end of it, you sit up there and say, it's still somebody else's fault. I am just, like when you sit up here and say, that's flabbergasted. Well, I mean, it's just like when you say unfathomable. It's like I'm the CEO of the company. I make all decisions. I decide what the money split on, this, that, and the other. And then say the company fails. Usually what happens? They fire the CEO. Only in America where you want to say, oh, no, you just give us more. Or if it's everybody else's fault. You made all the choices. You made all the decisions. You made all the rules. And then you wonder, and everything went to shit hit the fan, and now you want to sit up here and say, oh, nope, somebody else's fault.
And nobody even asked questions like, how did this shit happen? I mean, next thing you know, you got, like you said about the CEO analogy, it's not just the CEO because it becomes a huge shitstorm.
All right.
Because everybody's going to be starting, because, you're going to have start people going in, looking in, investigating on like, let's say the parent, like there's no father involved, like we said, and the mother has custody of the child, and something happens to the kid. There's going to be a police investigation. There's going to be child services and getting involved.
But if that was, think about it. If that was think about the hypocrisy of this. If that was men with custody of the kids, and their kids were known for like being out after certain hours, being picked up by the police all this time, running drugs, any of this other scrap, they'll be trying to put us in jail. They would put new laws on the books, like the kids not going to school. They would find a way to put us in jail in some form or fashion. I mean, to sit up here and say, I mean, they don't even know. Like I told them, I said, they would hate for me. They would hate for me to start making content. I said, look, you rich people, you want to make this what you do. First thing you need to build more private prisons for women. So y'all want to get rich, build more private prisons for women. Next thing you need to do is put some law people in there that's going to stop giving these women these lenient sentences. That way you can put butts in the chair. Cause I mean, I ain't even gonna lie. If I was running organized crime still, I'm getting all women. Why? And half of the time, y'all don't even make it to court, let alone if you do any dirt. You gonna do 45% less time. I mean, come on now. All I gotta do is blame it on somebody. I see one of the things is they give them benefit of the doubt, or they feel sorry for you, and that allows them to get away with so much.
You're forgetting something, man. Bro, you forget something.
What?
If they get caught, they're going. The prosecution is going to press on them to return state's evidence, and they'll drop the dime in a heartbeat just to save their own asses.
Oh, I know, but but I ain't gonna lie, it could be all women.
Oh, hold on a second. Speaking of the mother trucker, what's going on, Uncle AL?
AL, the baddest motherfucker in the trucking game, man.
Actually,
I'm glad you're here, man, because I could not do your voice. I can't do your voice to save my life.
Kind of hard to be a legend.
Yes, indeed. It's gonna hide the legends of that. I'm trying to do it, but he sounds like more like a cross between Louis Armstrong and Red Fox. It's not. It's not
Kind of sort of
somewhere,
too much
somewhere in there.
smoking.
It's not the right balance.
That's all that is. Too much smoking.
Ain't drinking.
No, I don't drink that much.
Oh, okay, my bad. I stand corrected. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I was thinking Charles, but yeah. But yeah. But yeah, like you keep mentioning many times, the prison, the school to prison pipeline is alive and well. Is it not?
Oh yeah, it's been wide awake since the '80s. We all know that. You can thank your current president now for that bullshit.
And the '94 crime bill, and guess who's riding shotgun with them? One of the biggest benefactors to it.
That's gonna tell you. Here's the sinful part of it all, really. When you really have people out there not contributing, not giving, it's disgusting. And for the longest time, feminism never wanted to contribute. When you look at all these laws, why take it away? You claim that you could do it all by yourself, but we've seen you and you failed miserably. And for some odd reason, you look at the whole information and you look at the whole storyline as it goes, and they would rather fail miserably than give the man the child so we can actually produce a better possible outcome for children.
You know what, Charles? In a situation like this, sorry, Charles. In a situation like this, all you got to do is look at your own son and say, I'm glad I see him every day. I mean, imagine how, and you know that better than I do. I mean, Dre, you're still in the lives of some of your kids, right?
Oh my fucking god! No, I just listen. I just saw Alstein ad. Just came up on my feed saying financial abuse is a form of domestic violence that goes unnoticed, but we all can be an ally for survivors, like Asia. For real. Wow. Look like we got to stop using Allstate insurance.
Hold up. Let's go by that logic, right? So financial abuse is domestic violence.
Is a form of domestic violence that goes unnoticed. Wow.
So there's a lot of...
Wait. Here, they said, what are the signs of financial abuse? Let's go ahead and read this. Let me get it up. Wow. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Don't do shit for women. Okay, you getting laid. Paid laid or you give them shade.
Let's go by their logic, right? So how many chicks who get alimony and child support should be in jail?
For not letting the parents see the kid? Where do we start? Where do you start?
Because right now, we've been letting women get off the hook very easily. Very easily. Why should I pay somebody who does less work, doesn't make any innovations, no inventions, for what?
Oh my gosh. Here are the signs of financial abuse, people. Does your partner limit or decide how much money you spend? Number 2, does your partner use your credit or debit cards without your knowledge? Does your partner lock you out of your shared bank account? Does your partner prevent you from working or attending school? Oh my gosh, does your partner exclude you from financial meetings? For real? Does your partner overuse your credit card? Wow. For real? If anything, that would sound like a woman because they're the ones using the credit cards and shit like that. Wow.
So the financial abuse if you cancel a woman's credit card for using it for excessive spending?
Basically, that's what they're trying to say. Yeah, if does your partner limit or decide how much, how you spend money? So basically, that would be financial abuse. Like in all cases, does your partner limit or decide how much money you spend? That would be considered financial
Well, if
abuse.
that's the case, well, if that's the
Wow.
case, I guess a lot of guys realize, ladies, you keep yours, I'll keep my
Oh my.
account. No joint,
No.
no
I
joint.
get you. No. Listen to this, bro. It's even worse. On the page that you're reading all this stuff on, they put a big orange box. Hey, if you're in danger and you quickly need to close this page, hit this and it'll safely go to something else to make it seem like you're not looking at it. Wow.
Hey.
Wow. Like here, it's like, I mean, this shit is just ridiculous. I ain't gonna lie. That's gonna be the big new scam next year. You're gonna see, oh, financial abuse. Financial abuse.
You don't even have to wait next year. It's gonna be later this year.
Yeah, I know. Right. 6 months.
What's
Wow.
up, Culinary?
Hello, Kareen.
Wow.
Kareen, I made you call.
This is, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I don't fuck with women at all. I mean, I hate to say something. It's gonna become to the point where you just, I ain't even gonna lie. Don't even talk to me. Just keep walking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
Judge. Hi, guys. Sorry about that. My headset was like needed to charge.
I was about to be like, put the oxtails down, girl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at work. Yeah, my headset needed to charge, and I didn't realize it. Yeah, I was listening to what Judge was saying about the financial abuse. That sound like what women do. That don't even sound like men.
See, yeah, I need you to say it again for the niggas in the back who listen, man, because they don't hear you. Please say that again.
Wait. Not the niggas in the back. Report them to the youth in the back. To the youth on the back.
Yeah, that's women. Like, women is the one who use the credit cards and lie, buy shoes and hide it in the back of the closet and lie. So that's, I don't know who wrote that. Whoever wrote that is
It was on
just
Allstate Insurance. So basically, like I said, this is me and a Manosphere meal. I ain't gonna lie. This another thing we need to do. We need to start saying, well, fine, motherfuckers who ain't gonna get on YouTube and say, I want they advertisements played on our videos, and fuck them, we don't buy their shit. We gonna go on a tirade where we say, you know what? We only buy products from companies that we see while we watching our. So if we don't see your product advertised, we ain't buying your shit.
But you know what's funny? That can bring big up a good point. This is what women do.
Right, not us.
How many women go and commit all types of acts against men financially? So why don't you ever see a promotion of women when they make false sexual assault allegations? I just read, shout out the Manosphere highlights again. He was stated about the newly elected president of South Korea, who's anti-feminist, who he said he's making stricter laws for people who make false sexual assault allegations. Remember, that's technically the West. Even though it's in the East, that's technically a very patriarchal Western society with Eastern traditions. Okay? And what makes it bad that you have a woman saying how much, saying how much women are bullshit.
Yeah.
Listen, I love my mother. My mother tells me I should always have a separate account. So yeah, she's been married to my dad for like 50-something years. That's just women do that. So I don't know who wrote this. Listen, I used to work for Allstate. Fun fact: I used to work for Allstate. There, you could obviously they're not doing what they need to do because that's bullshit. That whole thing is bullshit.
Yep.
Green, I got a question for you.
Yes.
You ever gotten an autograph from Dennis Haysbert by any chance?
No, I never. You know who I got autograph from though? Maxwell.
Who?
Maxwell, the singer, and I saw him in concert Friday night. And he was awesome. Oh, she didn't hear. He was so good in concert. Anyway, back to our discussion. Yeah, no, that's BS. That's all of that is BS. You guys talked about the Kanye thing already. You guys talked about the girl the lady, the basketball wife girl that abused.
Yeah.
Well, her son abused a little boy. Some of these girls, I don't know. They really, everything you've been saying about them is just like every day is just coming forward. Every day, there's stories just confirming everything you guys have been saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it
needs to be
can't
said.
deny it.
It needs to be said at the end of the day. It's just these are just uncomfortable truths that some people just don't want to deal with. Now, I will say is like this whole thing about financial abuse. Of course, Korean, you would understand this. Women like do things with their credit card. It's even worse now that we have online shopping. Would you agree?
I agree because I overspend. I'll admit it. I am a shopaholic. I will admit it. So I know, but it's my credit card. So I'm not married, so I don't have to like go ask my husband for to use
Good
the
answer.
credit card. But I know people that are married that do, and a couple that I know, she had to have her husband put her on a budget because she used to overspend, and her husband had to put. I'm glad she listened to her husband. Since she listened to her husband, they were able to buy a house because she was spending like crazy. So I mean, let's be real. We all need discipline, and sometimes we don't have. And then when you're married to a man that has this discipline, you kind of need him to run the books, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
If the man is not as good with the books, with the money, with the finance, then maybe the wife is good, who's a good, no stocks, no,
Mm-hmm.
should do it. But that's not abuse. That's just been married.
Well, think about this to go to show you how some people are just so fucking unreal. Like Brittany Ramirez, she said that she made a comment saying that she got all like this and she was allowed to spend like $15,000 or $20,000 a month. That was her allowance, just on whatever she wanted and stuff like that. And the only thing, like, she was really upset. Like, if you listen to her interviews closely, the main thing, I would just want him to only think that I was the only thing in the world. I'm like, wait a minute, somebody going to provide you with a lifestyle that's going to be that. I mean, like, literally, everybody sitting here watching this damn podcast right now, the people listening to it, you're going to have more money than all the people watching this podcast in the chat room on the panel. You're going to have more money than they make in a year. You can take all our salaries here, add it all up, and you're going to have more access to that. And you're mad about something. I mean, like, literally, when you sit up here and say, how can you please a person like that?
Yeah. You don't.
I'm like, when you sit up here and say, I mean, realize in life, look, that's like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is people sit up here and say, well, okay, fine. The dude's going to be probably one of the first trillionaires. And people say, oh, well, I want more time. Well, no offense. The dude is trying to sit up here and colonize another planet to make sure we got another place to go to, say if something happens to this one. That's a big job. I mean, it's going to take a lot of dedication. It ain't like the niggas out there running the street. This dude is actually working for the betterment of something. Now, some people might say he's crazy for trying to get this vision going. But no offense, nigga, you knew that this type of dude, the dude was this type of a visionary when you met him. That probably was attracted to you. The man has always started plenty of billion-dollar companies. So you know that this man is highly involved in his work. You know, if you're not going to be first place in his life because the man said his work and his mission is first place. If anything, you need to be, well, what can I do to help you get there? But then, oh no, he needs to worry about me only. I'm like, you're not going to be first everywhere. And this is the problem with a lot of women. As soon as they're not first and they're not first on every list, it's a problem. And they just use that for an excuse.
And you know what's the worst part about it is this. Every time it comes down to accountability, you see, when women like Kareem and Shonda and Toya and others come on the panels, they tell you stories of where they had to be accountable. And that's so rare that it's almost like a superpower to hear a woman that's accountable.
Right.
We will never hear about women doing anything wrong. And y'all were here listening to me. When I spoke to that woman for an hour, I'm gonna ask all of you in the chat and panel, was I rude? Was I disrespectful? No. This is how feminists see you. And the saddest part about it is this. When you go through life thinking that you could do no wrong, that's scary. That is very scary.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very demented, delusional, distorted.
Scary?
It's horrifying. Because one, as men, I can't walk up to Judge Dre and call him a bitch ass nigga or punch him in the back of his face because it's gonna bring about a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a possibility when two men fight, I mean give it their all in a fight. One of us are not gonna walk away from it, or both of us are gonna be in the hospital or dead.
Or the fact is this, like it's you. We already know when it comes to a fight with us, it's like this. Okay, fine. I might win the fight, and you might lose the fight, but then I'll end up going to jail. You'll go. I mean, literally, it doesn't end good for us. That's why a lot of times we do what we can to avoid fighting.
Yeah.
When women know that they're like most of the time of them going to jail for actually doing stuff, that's the reason why the women are so quick to fight because they hardly ever get slapped on the wrist for it.
But you know, for all my years of law enforcement, it is a shocker when you have to defend yourself against a woman and you come at her just as hard as you would come at a man.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Shoulder block, elbow strike, punch, throw kick, joint lock. But I'm a girl. I'm supposed to take it light on you?
Right.
It's like that fight scene in Batman Returns. He had the defenders of the Catwoman. She was like, "How could you? I'm a woman." He was like, "Yo, I'm sorry." And try to kick him in the stomach.
You know what her famous saying was? Life's a bitch and so am I.
Exactly.
And it's crazy.
I thought we had something. We do. Head bunk the chick.
It is crazy because Kareem had to come up here and say that's what women do. You're the ones who deny men of their children, deny men of their wealth.
Mm-hmm. Just like think about it. Remember when I got my son? You guys knew about it, knew me all this time. It was like 2 or 3 times in the time she popped up at my house. I'm like, okay. Like I even told her, did you want me to go with you for a couple of days? Well, it's like I never showed no. Okay, go right ahead. A lot of times when she'd come, hey, I talk for like 5 minutes and I leave the room, give you some time with your son. It's like never know. Hey, I'm like told her, I said, well, you can come. Like, then many times I even talked to her. I said, well, you can come get him. He your son too. Well, it was never her excuse was, he really don't want to go with me. Well, but I said one of the things you can't say is I said, okay, don't go with your mom, or you can't go with your mom. You can't never say that. That ain't never been us. Even when the mothers are drug addicts and stuff like that, that's not common for men to say because we realize the damage it causes. See, women they live for the 5 second thing. We realize it's a long game plan. We think about down the road. And a lot of times y'all think that we don't care, but say we know where we're trying to get to. And sometimes things that we might have to sacrifice right now because it's going to interfere with us getting to that goal. Or sometimes it can come back to bite us in the ass from a decision we made today. We realize it. Like one of the things with me, say if I ever was mainstream popular, as much shit as I've told in my life, they got plenty of ammo to tell. But like I tell you all the time, the reason why I told the stories, my goal was to prevent other men from falling in the trap. Where y'all women's goal is to hide your secrets so much and lie to them so much that you'll allow other people to make the same mistakes you did. No, you better not make the same mistakes I did. You better not. Not while I'm around.
Yeah. And see, when you live in a Western world, it's funny. Like Kareem, if she's still here.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
For those who are new, tell them about your background and where's your family from and your lineage and all that.
Well, I'm an immigrant. My parents are, well, my entire family actually is Jamaican. So it's a third world country, yes, Caribbean, yes, it has beaches, but the majority of the working population is, poor. It's a poor country. We're very proud, but we're poor. Um, so my parents though were like they were together since my mom was 16 years old. So my situation is that I've always had my mother and father. Like I've always watched that growing up. Like, and a lot of people in where I'm from, my parish, they stick together. That's one thing that I love about my growing up is that I always saw men and women sticking together no matter what. And they weren't rich people, they're poor, but they stuck together. And that's basically my background.
And because of that background, would you care to say the correlation of feminism be damned? I need to find the best possible man I could find.
No, I don't. Feminism. I don't. There's no fun. I mean, it's probably there in Jamaica in the upper class people because Jamaica's classes in the upper class. Maybe that's there, but we don't have no feminism there. And well, I mean, we had a female prime minister, yes, but I don't think Jamaica is a feminist country. Maybe now, but when I was there, it wasn't feminist at
Yeah.
all.
And it's funny because I've noticed when like I said earlier, first world problems and feminism is insane due to the fact that they kind of try to look like men are useless. And I'm like, how the hell do you protect yourselves? And I'm pretty sure that, you know, it's not safe for women to go out by themselves in Jamaica by themselves, right?
It's definitely not safe. I mean, if you listen to Caribbean news, a lot of women is getting killed. A lot of women, if they do certain things and or they have, like, say they have one or two baby father and they do certain things, baby father kids chopping their head off. It's like they don't play in Jamaica. So, I mean, I don't understand how some of these girls do some of the things that they do here, because I know some men, they don't play with certain things. So when I hear a lot of your guys' stories, I'm like, whoa! I actually have to say, really, you allowed your female to do that to you? Because I've never. I mean, I know there's mess and there's Jamaican women who do craziness too. I'm not trying to say we're perfect. We're not. We do messed up things too or whatever, but the men are very like, they don't play. That's my point. And some of the stories I hear, I'm like, you guys are too nice. And I feel like, now I don't condone violence. I don't condone violence, but I feel like you guys, American men, are very
They
nice.
take a cutlass, man, and be chopping people up. Chop, 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 chop.
No. But I feel like you guys let your females get away with a lot. You know, you guys are very kind-hearted. I mean, I've dated a couple black. I mean, most of the guys I've dated is Caribbean, but the Black American guys that I've dated, they're very kind. I don't understand all this like, oh, you guys are nothing or whatever. I don't think you're like that. I don't understand this. These people online when they come up with these things, I don't understand it. I honestly don't. I'm not just pandering to you or nothing. I really never heard these things until I come online to hear how men are this and that. I'm like, where? I mean, of course, there's bad people, but I've never, as a mass, seen black men be so horrible to black women. I've never seen it. So I don't understand it.
You're forgetting something. Jamaica, the majority of you are black, are you not?
Yeah. 98%.
In America, yeah. In America, blacks are like 10 to 15%. And black men have for centuries,
13%.
generations. Yeah, thank you, Chaos. Well, I did say 10 to 15. But black men have been hamstrung going back to when they first were brought to the American shores. The way they've been programmed that certain way.
But think about
and also Korean, as far as your experiences with African American men, you know damn well a lot of them found you pretty exotic because you were an island girl.
You're Jamaican, blah blah blah. But they're not. I've never seen. Yeah, no, but I've never, like, some of the stuff I'm hearing online with the girls saying that, oh, some of them do. Okay, we all have. There's always bad people in every race, every creed. White men is bad. There's some bad white men. Come on, like, it's just.
Yeah, but the thing is like in America, Charles, I'm sure you can explain this better to her than I can, but in America, black men realize they got a strike on them. If they do something, she can just call cops on them. They got, oh shit.
Black men don't have a strike. They have a whole damn system against them. See, the craziest part about it is black men as a whole, you may have some disgusting bastards who are abusive, but overall, black men are very, very docile towards their women.
They are. Like, the money thing, let's do the financial thing. I've actually known black men who've given their checks to their wives. I've actually know them, like people I know, and that's like a real thing. Like, even today it happens. So I mean, it don't happen in mass, like I don't know, a whole bunch of people, but I know somebody that does that, and I'm like, why would she do that? Like, I would have given my whole check. I'm just saying, I'm indoctrinated, but I would have given my whole check. I don't know why you guys would do that. Like, when I heard that, I was like, really? He gave you a whole check?
I mean, those are like, I don't want to use the terms. Well, I keep it real. I mean, that's kind of like selfish in a way, because they were raised by other people. This is how you're supposed to support and do a women and stuff. And when some of them probably do get their women, they kind of take it a little overboard in a way. That's why they carry that attitude, happy wife, happy life and stuff. That is so cringeworthy to me too. Like, but that's how most dudes like that you were saying, Corinne, is doing with their women to try to make them happy. Yo, man, Patrice O'Neal, that name on his head, said himself.
Yep.
Patrice O'Neal said himself.
You can't make a woman happy any happier than she can herself.
Not that one. A happy man is a happy relationship.
No. A happy man is a happy relationship. A happy woman is just a man who has to negotiate from moment to moment.
No, a man that is a miserable one.
A miserable one, and plus he's got to negotiate his happiness with the woman.
Yep.
Exactly. But the show one is not
the cooking thing. Even the cooking thing, right? A happy thing, right? You guys talk about the cooking, right?
Wait, hold on, Kareem, hold on a second.
You got to salute the Dr. T, Hassan Johnson in the building. If Dr. T wants to come up, there's the link. You know, he's always a pleasure. But continue, folks, continue.
Yeah, I was just saying about the cooking thing. Where you guys always complain about the cooking. You know that's not happening. And like we got to cook. That's another thing I heard that like your girls want to cook for you. I was like, come on.
You know
That's
what?
like
I'll tell you
The way
what.
to a man's heart is his stomach.
I'll tell you what. A coworker said, with a woman who's not able to cook, would that be a deal killer? Yes, it would. I said, let me ask you this question: a man who can't provide and protect, would that be a deal killer? Yes. So yes, it would. I'm not ashamed to tell you, your ass can't cook. Yes. What good are you if you're not? If I'm supposed to be in charge of the protection of the family, and you're supposed to be in charge of the nourishment of the family, who's failing who?
listen. In my culture, everybody could cook. Men, women, everybody could cook. But the majority of the cooking is the women. Like even now, my brothers are better cooks than me, but I have to cook for them. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That part I was like weird. That's weird to me, but I guess that's how it is.
The men is working most of the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because the women gotta have stuff to cook. So like anytime probably men probably cook his days or regular work. This is fair, but you got some females that's not even talking about it. They want to eat out the damn time. They even go lunch.
Yo, Mel. Sometimes, especially if you're a single dude, if you're a single man, sometimes if you can, if you got the time, what you do instead of just like cook every day, you just meal prep for the entire week.
I know.
In order to sustain yourself, and instead, even families do that. The wives sometimes instead of cooking every day, they'll meal prep for the entire week and feed the whole family with that. That way, they have more time because it's more time. It's better time management. And those of us who were raised by our parents, both our parents, we learned to do both skills because eventually we had to learn that eventually you got to leave the house. Although in my culture, you don't leave the house until you get married, traditionally. But that was all. But that shit all changed, you know, with all things being here. But yeah.
Most women.
Wait. Charles, I don't know if you have reverb. Dr. said there's some background noise.
Yeah.
Thank
you, Charles.
Yeah.
Good looking out, Chaos.
Try jump back in, Charles, if you're using your cell phone and or change the audio. Continue.
It sounds like if somebody got a TV going or something in the background.
Yeah, it sounds like it. But hey, Mel, you know, another thing some people forget is like take an example is like the Wayans family. Mama Wayans made a point that not only her daughters, but also her sons, and we're talking about 10 kids here, a family of 12. She made sure that every single boy in that house learned not only how to cook and clean, but also how to sew and take care of himself. So they wouldn't have to depend on nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was my mother thing too.
Each kid had to cook.
Yeah.
Somebody got a TV on in the background.
That's not me. Yeah, I hear it.
Wait,
everybody, you?
Everybody mute up, and then somebody talk one by one, and we'll find it.
Not with you, Chaos.
No, I was muted the whole time.
Yep. That's Dre.
What?
You got TV
Dre, you on the radio? You got the TV on?
You got in the background. Peter Griffin's voice.
What?
I think he's tired.
That's a Baltimore thing.
You sound tired.
That's a Cleveland thing. We can afford TVs, boom tube.
I can't. I don't know what a TV is.
I forgot
the radio. Are you eating club or something?
But
Hey, Dre, just jump down and jump back in.
It's not me, but I'll jump down. Okay.
Let's see if we can crack it.
Definitely not me.
Hello?
Yeah, it was Dre.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of times we got to look at the facts of the picture. Is that when Dre brought up some of those State Farm economic abuse. Notice they never talked about the men. I got to go into my Dr. Tia song. Hold up. I got to do my Dr. Tia song. But notice we didn't talk about the men. But in all seriousness, they neither talked about the men nor the possibility that economic abuse can happen equally.
Of course not. Everything
goes both ways.
This is the problem. The only time that people care about when somebody gets hurt is when it's them. When we are hurt, they don't give a shit.
And that's the main point that I bring up, is that there's too many of the guys out there who will actually co-sign this bullshit. Well, you should just pay a woman's bill, even if you break up with a girl and she has your kids, you should still pay her bills.
No.
So here's a question. I sit there and laugh. This is the problem. The problem with that aspect is here. And as a person who has paid a lot of child support.
You're right. You're bored.
Okay, so fine. You tell me that now leave me with 40% to live on. I said, you realize now that basically I can never pursue another relationship.
Isn't that the point?
But I have nothing to offer to my next relationship where she can go on and get money from me, money from the state. And so basically my life is just supposed to, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. So basically you're gonna tell me, how are you telling me that too? I have to fight, but wait, I have to fight to even see my kids that I'm paying for? So I mean, so here's a question. I understand you say, okay, fine, I can never pursue another relationship because I don't make enough money. I can, and then you're gonna tell me on top of that, I can't even see my kids at a time, but 4 days a month, 5 days a month. I mean, no offense, I see totally nothing wrong with the dude saying, hey, if I can't see my kids, you can't see them either.
Yo, you remember in The Wire, right? That whole arc with Jimmy Minotti, where he was going through it with his ex-wife. I said in the first 4 seasons, she kept 3 seasons. She kept constantly talking about my lawyer said, Dad, do this, I gotta do that. Telling you, like, she was so heartbroken of his infidelity. She was doing a lot of shit to get back at him and shit. Even when he told her, you know what, I wanted to work things out, get you back. She constantly slept with him to get him to sign shit for more money, you know what I'm saying, to pay more alimony and shit. And he signed it just to hope they'd get her back, and then she switched up on him.
Of course.
Remember the 4th season when, he got himself, you know what I'm saying, clean and found himself a better woman and all that shit. That lawyer she hooked up with dumped her ass, shit like that. And now she's looking at him like, damn, I knew he was going to grow up. Shit like that. Like, she made a big regret. I mean, he started to move on and shit like that for real. It was like, I know that whole arc when he was going through with his wife, and she kept always trying to get more money out of him.
Basically, the women want it like this. They say, hey, when a woman, they want to have the power to say, well, fine, if you ain't going to be with me, I'm going to make sure that no other woman ever wants you. I mean, they might as well just come out and say, make a rule like that. Okay, fine. You done got with this woman, boom. You're not allowed to be with nobody else. They would love that. But then on top of that, they would have to enforce the rule. No, he can't be with nobody else, but you can't be with nobody else either. Now what?
And with Dre, not only that, also too, we all know women always want to be the first of everything. First refusal, first to move on. And even first to move on with someone that they found better than him and stuff. If it's not just equal, but at least most likely better. But they find especially someone that's better than her, and she's still old and lonely and bitter. Yeah, that's when hell she's gonna bring to her ex.
But have you ever noticed that women
and everything, she ain't gonna want to get revenge on him because she felt like she upgraded. But if she
you
never upgrades,
but have you ever noticed that a lot of women have put a premium on their laziness? And
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny because of what, like I said earlier, women when I grew up, women used to love to cook. They used to love to cook. That's how they can impress you. That I did all that. Fuck them other women. Let me show you how much of a woman I. It was actually reciprocated by a man saying, "Let me show you how much of a man I am." See, women were the greatest catalyst for a lot of things: conquering lands, set sail, going on adventures, innovation. We made the world so goddamn easy for women overall that we forgot to actually make sure they had our backs and we had their total undying love and submission. And see, when I'm talking about submission, it does not mean slavery. It means your cooperation. It means your support. You can't even support the men you say you love. And I don't know if y'all picked up on this the last time I was on here. That one chick said black women worship black men. Worship.
Yeah.
Worship. I said, wait a minute. Either we're God or a goddamn shame to you. Which one is it? Because if you're gonna say we're passing the blame, last time I checked, anything that's worth worshiping is blameless. So when you
So,
take this and hold on, when you take this in consideration, one must have to say, wait a minute, when have you paid the cost to be the boss? When have you ever put your best foot forward? Have you picked the best man that you could possibly get? Have you? If
Charles,
not, yeah, go ahead.
when they say things like that, do you understand how purposely vague they are when they say that? If
I
you might
don't.
remember, if you remember that one time when cousin T-Tar was in here, and we were talking, we were banting, we were powwowing, we were going back and forth about it. And I was like, when they say certain things, understand they say they worship men or they love certain men, and then they love black men. They're talking about certain black men. But the
yeah,
reason they try to, but the reason they're being vague in general about it is to give a lot of people that false sense of hope. Because if they can't get the guys they want, at least they can get some attention from somebody else. If they can't get positive, they're gonna get negative. And also going back to what Mel and everybody was saying. Mel, you might remember something from Patrice O'Neill. He said like women don't want you to give an apology if you fuck up. They want you to live an apology.
you said live an apology.
Yeah, live an apology. That's why he said like if I cheat with a chick, I end it with her immediately. If something falls wrong, if I do something wrong, I better end the relationship right now and walk away because I will not live an apology. Because I know, because if I stay with her after I do something, she's gonna hold that's power to her, and she's gonna use that and then hang that over my head. You know what I'm saying?
But
Yeah,
at the same time, you
It's
got
a power trip. It's a
but you got
power trip.
but you got to realize. See, when does women take power? Because power cannot be given; it has to be taken. Okay, even if you look at electric current, that electronic has to take that power. Okay, how are you
Mm-hmm.
powerful when you claim that you're powerless? Can't beg for power. You're truly not powerful if you beg for it. That's why
That's why they try to go up.
this independence is fleeting. It's a lie. It's subterfuge. Instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to be better off with a husband when I know the studies. Think about it. We're not in the first phase of single motherhood, okay? You had generations now. I always say, why are there still crackheads when you know the effects of crack? Why? You know the effects what this would do to your body. You know the effects of what this of being a single mother will do to your children. Why? Why do we still have this phenomenon? Why? But then you have to look and actually do an investigation and say you're not picking the best men. You're just picking a guy to get you pregnant. Any man will do. And when you actually tell the truth about this, that's the feminist way. You chicks are truly the women of Themyscira. You want to go in there, raid the villages of the men, hurry up and seduce them and get pregnant and leave. And then once you have to raise your children by yourselves, you want to tell everybody how difficult it is. But it's your fault. That's like I told the chick on the other day. Y'all pick to be single mothers. When you're in your prime of your life, your beauty and everything's on point, you telling me you can't get a guy without giving up some ass? You can't get a relationship out of that? That's pathetic. So go ahead.
What can I say?
Oh.
They always
picking?
want to make.
Oh,
go ahead.
No, I didn't know. I thought he was saying about picking, females picking. Yeah, we make bad choices. I mean, we have to, like I've always told people, if anyone who knows me personally, I've always said I wish I was like I wish my family did like what the Indian people do with the
Arranged marriage.
Arranged marriage. I always wanted to have arranged marriage because I felt like my parents would pick the best match for me.
Corinne, I am the child of an arranged marriage.
Yeah, I wanted to have that, but my parents wasn't into that. It was like, oh, you should, we raise you right. You need to pick somebody that's gonna take care of you. But
Corinne, you're from the Commonwealth. They don't believe that. You know how it is. They believe in love.
Yeah,
it's not. They're hopeless romantics. You know that. I'm sure your parents were hopeless romantics when they knew each other.
Because my parents, at first my family didn't like my dad, so they always encourage us to love people. But I wish I had like that. I wish I had an arranged marriage because I felt like my friend, the girl that I went to high school with, she's been I've known her since I was 14 years old. She had an arranged marriage and she's happy and she has 2 boys. I always wish that I had that. I don't know. It's just something I always wish that somebody did for me when I was younger.
What, did you make a bad decision?
I certainly did, yes.
I want to ask you because you thank you for being so candid. I want to ask you this question.
No, fuck that. Thank you for being honest and owning up to your own bad decisions.
That's the part about being candid.
This is why second wave feminism was created, because they rebelled against that, and that's why it backfired on them.
I wanted to ask Kareem this, like, when modern women look for men, what do they actually look for?
Well, I'll be honest. When I met my child's father, I met him in college, so we're young, and he was wonderful. He's cute. He was handsome. He was, that's what we look for, the fairy tale. I think we do. I think I did.
I mean, hey, it's honest. I mean, there was an.
Hold on a second. 1 second, Charles. Hey, love, can you repeat that for the news in the back then?
We look for the fairy tale. I personally could say that I had what does Dr.
Thank
call
you.
it? The princess, the Cinderella syndrome. I forgot what they call it.
Prince in shining armor. I remember.
Yeah,
I knew a
I
cyberpower who had that
personally said
problem.
that I'm like a
Man in shining
romantic
armor.
person, and I thought I know this guy in college. We known each other for 10 years. It's just my story is crazy, but I personally did that. I thought because he was handsome and he's cute.
So you were
He's Jamaican. My child's father is Jamaican though, so he's not Black American. He's Jamaican, but
plus it was similar culture.
yeah,
And, and
I thought it would work and we would be happily married and seeing our grandkids, but it didn't work. So it is what it is.
Let me ask you something. Was it Gregory Isaac you were hearing in the background when you saw this cat, or was it Bob Marley? I Got Money could have been Dennis Brown, mate.
No, it was Coco T.
uh-oh. So it sounded like you were highly smitten by this man.
Yeah, we were together for 10 years. I could say I had my faults because I'm very stubborn. So thinking back, I could say I was at fault for a lot of stuff, but he's not a bad person, but he's just, I think if my dad and my mom picked the guy for me, I would be married today. I could honestly say that because I didn't make the correct choice.
It's appreciating you about being so honest, because this is very informational, because a lot of times women, and this is the reason why we say you're one of the special ones. A lot of women don't admit fault in any relationship, any part. They won't admit that, yeah, you'd have faults. Notice I will tell people, look, there's nothing shameful about having faults. It's something shameful about staying that way or not trying to improve upon them. And when you look at a lot of the modernization of women and their mentality, women hasn't ever said you're a better woman. It just says complain a lot louder. And when you say, but yet you're going to compare the roar of a lioness to a lion. Those are two different totally roars.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes it even more interesting, when you said you would have wished it was an arranged marriage, notice how you basically told us the parents would have bypassed all the the carnal things that you were looking at. That most women, like most women, will not. And yes, I'm going to pick a guy you probably find attractive, but I want to pick somebody that you're going to have compatibility. Somebody who's going to stick around for the long term. And I feel as though that a lot of guys would have benefited from arranged marriages as well, because you're going to get your bang for your buck out of that family. And a lot of people don't understand that concept. You're going to get your bang out of that buck. And instead of looking for these carnal things that is temporary, like, oh, her sex good, his penis is 13 inches and all this other shit, like, even after the sexual activity, 15 minutes to 2 hours later, you still got to deal with that individual. And I think that we as a people, we never truly figured that out. Like, yeah, you got to deal with this motherfucker. And like you said, I mean, and I feel you on that one, because similar ways to my son's mother, we were cool when it was cool, and we were not when it was not. So kudos to you for honesty and accountability.
Well, at least she owned up to it. I'm sure, Karine, your mother would have been like, Karine, come here for a minute. Look, I want you to understand there's a young man over there. He's a doctor.
My parents didn't like him, and they were right. So that's why we said. That's why.
Hey, you admitted that you were stubborn.
When I was younger, I was like, oh, they don't know anything. But now that I'm older, I'm like, yo, my parents was right. So Yeah, you know, it is what it is. I mean, you live and you learn. I think a lot of us women, you know, I'm not, like I said, I grew up with my family's very into my life. Yeah, my family is in my, you know, we help each other. So it's for
Very
me.
involved.
Yeah. Hello.
They're very
Yes.
involved.
Yeah, they're very involved. So
Very close.
other people, they don't have family involved in their life like that. So it's kind of harder for them. Not to excuse it, but I think that's one of the things that like is missing from a lot of situations I see, that they don't have good families to help kind of prop them up. Like back in the day when family was more involved. Now families aren't involved as much. So it's kind of hard for to have good families, because when your family is there to prop you up and to help you make better decisions, females usually make better decisions when their family is there to help them, you know.
Oh man, we gotta. This is gonna be. I gotta clip this shit out right here because this is a woman. I didn't coax her to say it. This is free. And by the way, we gotta get Kareem down to Blur Con. We gotta get her and bring some curry too, girl. Gotta get you down to Blur Con, you know.
Some curry chicken, a curry
Bring,
goat.
bring some curry chicken down to Blur Con. Like next thing you know, she gonna be like, yeah, put this curry on. I'm gonna put my foot in it. Yeah. I also thought that you ain't gonna give me no engagement ring.
Well, you bought that business, so hey, what you talking about?
Hey,
You
we're
know what? She's gonna start
growing.
sounding like.
There we growing. That's the beautiful
I'm gonna say
part.
this. Wait a minute, Kareem. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
When speaking of cooking, are you familiar with a gentleman named Ainsley Harriott?
No, I'm not. Who's that?
He's a British comic and chef of Jamaican origin.
Oh, I don't
Very
know
tall,
him.
large man.
Mm-hmm.
He's very in tune with his Jamaican roots because his parents are first generation Jamaican, but he was born in London. But he learned how to cook from his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, he asked his mother, you know, when it came, you guys don't use measuring cups at all.
I
Last time
mean,
I checked.
yeah, most
You
people
could,
learn
like,
from their
so
mom or their
how much is
grandparents.
a handful? He's like, mom, how much is a handful? Well, a handful is a handful. That's all you need. Just a handful of this,
Right?
and that's how you work it.
Yeah, we don't do measurements.
That's the side of a true cook.
We don't do
They,
measurements.
you see, you bring a measurement cup and a cook's fuck in the kitchen, they gonna cuss you. Get that shit out of here. What the fuck are you doing? Try to embarrass me like I don't know how to taste my own goddamn food. Get that shit out of here.
That didn't work with me. I mean, my father, he looked at me like, what? My parents, you know, when they taught me how to cook, they looked at me. It's like, you're following the instructions, aren't you? Yeah. All right. You know what you're doing, at least. At least you know what you're doing.
Oh man, I can imagine like she like
They would not have gotten mad at me because they're like, well, he's got OCD. Let him be with it. You know what he's doing.
she gonna get that curry chicken and she gonna sprinkle. She like, oh no, we gonna make sure this shit good.
We're
Oh
gonna
man,
make sure
I'm
there's
back up every
taste.
time. I wish
The
I wish
lie.
I wish Dr. T could come to BurgerCon as well too, man. He will love it. Like, oh, black anime comic book nerd and the convention. Oh, sci-fi too. Oh my god, he
Did you
will love it.
guys see Black, the Adam Project, I think it's called, on Netflix?
No, not
I'm
yet.
gonna check that out.
It's so
Wow.
good. Oh my God. Like Dr. T should watch it too, because I was watching it and I thought about him, some of the things he says about how they, even though it wasn't black people in it, but how they showed male relations in these movies. And when I was watching, I was like, oh, this movie is so positive for a father love, like showing the love of a father. And it's like this guy, it's like his journal came to life. He get to meet his younger self, and it's a good. I was like, this is one of the best Netflix movies in a long time. It's so good, just good. It's inspirational, and I was like, oh, about time you guys start doing inspirational movies again. I'm tired of all this doom and gloom, and I understand the red pill and all of that, but we need some more inspirational stuff, especially with men, to prop up men, because men aren't getting propped up like women. Women is getting more propped up in the society, and I see it now from watching y'all channel. I'm like, oh yes, this is where they suppress the man. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I can't watch regular movies now. Without seeing.
If the ring could cut and she look as good as she does in that picture, we like. Oh man,
What, you trying to be the next? What, you trying to be Mrs. Faulkner now? Get out of here.
No, but watch, but guys, take a look at that movie. I think you guys will all appreciate it, even though it's not Black people. But I think it's such a positive message of like fatherly and a son love. Like the majority of the movie to me was about that.
Yeah, and what's the name of it again?
The Adam Project.
Okay,
Isn't Ryan Reynolds in it?
It's sci-fi, so it's good.
And I think a lot of times we need to get more in tune into the positive. I'm glad you said that because I'm glad you put down like we know about the red pill, but we need to also know about the positives of the red pill. The red pill is not about hating women or debunking women. No, it's about truth. It's about truth about the world around you. It's like when your spidey sense is being developed. And a lot of men have never coped. You see, we got to look at the coping mechanisms of a lot of this. And because feminism has been, on the necks of a lot of men, and Black men in particular, our coping mechanisms are very skewed. That's why, brothers need to love themselves and love each other. No matter how the system has you. That's why we come up with my brother, my champion, my savior. See, when you have love for yourself, how can you hate your brother? When you got love for your brother, he is going to be your champion. Hold on. Okay, when he's your champion, he is going to become your savior because he's going to move heaven and earth to free you. And then let's say you meet a lady like Karine or others that actually gives us hope. You're not just a man, you're a superman. You're blessed. You have powers far beyond mortal men. You got your brothers on one side, and you got your lady on the other side who supports and cooperates with you. You will accomplish great things. But this is the part where we gotta rebuke feminism. And I'm glad you said that, Leroy Smith. The red pill is just the truth of the matter. Socially, historically, politically, whatever. Women are just a small part of the social aspect. Thank you. I couldn't say it better myself. Even if I tried. See, a lot of times, too many men get caught up with the hurt and instead of the healing. Yes, you have the right to pain. You have the right to feel a certain way, but you do have a duty to carry on. What are we going to do next? We can mourn all day, all night for the next 2-3 years. But when that second or third year is up, something's got to give. And it's crazy.
You gotta take that first step and start rebuilding. You need to put closure to that and start deciding what's your next move. The thing is, too many people are just trapped in this wallow pity party thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speaking of which, Charles.
Yeah.
You gotta be up 8 a.m. because you gotta support your boy, man. He's doing his radio.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm having too much fun over there, man. It feels wrong for me to be having that much fun, just joking, clowning, joking around over there. We're talking about our brothers and protecting everything and helping each other out. That's a man who's also found closure, found peace, found happiness.
And that's all it's about. It's about finding your peace and happiness. I know. I'm a lawyer. I know that there's trouble on that side and I got to confront it. But on the other side of trouble, that's salvation. That's the promised land. Sometimes Brothers need to get it in their mind. I'm not fighting for me to see it. I'm fighting for the generations I may not even know. I may not live to see the glory days. I want the generations to know a world without war. I want them to be further than me. When my descendants walk upon the earth, I want them to know their ancestor that said, he did this for us. We got away from that. Think about it. The way China is now, China 100, 200 years ago, worked towards the fact that they said, you know what? We're going to work at this point to make sure that the generations after us do not suffer, even if we don't live to see it.
What was it the Greeks said?
Go ahead.
What was it the Greeks say? True wisdom is old men planting trees whose shade they'll never experience. They'll never sit under.
Exactly.
Because it's not about them. It's about passing on the knowledge and preparing the next generation to do the work.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's
and
the
like
problem.
When you talk about love for brothers and shit, I think if anybody ever got a chance to listen to that Wu-Tang album, The W, that song I Can't Go to Sleep, Isaac Hayes. If you remember what he says when he was on the hook, he goes like, "Don't kill your brother. Learn to love each other. Don't get mad, 'cause it ain't that bad. You know who you are. You've come too far. It's in your hand. Just be a man."
Let's see.
Get the children out the spot.
See, a lot of people don't understand. To be masculine, it's not just to be this bravado, macho.
Oh, that's hyper masculinity right there. See, that's the problem right there.
See, to be a man is to know love. To be a man is to give love. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
See, a mother knows love by giving up her body to bear children. A father knows love to give up his body to provide and protect for those children. Damn, somebody write that shit in the chat. Somebody write that shit in the chat. Yeah, I might have to trademark half this shit that I'm talking right now. But y'all don't hear me though. Give me a
trademark before Chris Jericho does. Shit.
Give me a goddamn woo if you hear me in the chat, man. See, a mother gives up her body to give birth to children and show love. A man gives up his body to protect and provide. Okay? There's different aspects to this shit. How do you combat feminism? Is one, you got to love yourself. Two, you got to have love for your brother. Three, for the women who want to be around us, you got to have love for them. Four, you got to go and you got to change the system. Even if that means you must become the system. Okay? That's love. Do you love your people? Because guess what? When you love your people, the sacrifice becomes easy. Damn, I need to trademark that one too. God damn it, I need to trademark this shit. It's fire. When you love your people, the sacrifice becomes easy, man. But don't forget, love.
When your mission is righteous, the sacrifices are nothing.
Exactly.
When your aim is true, you don't see the sacrifices. They just come with this. You just take them all in stride.
Because number one, you got to realize something, kid. Love must also be reciprocated. Okay. Notice I said the love, yes, the sacrifices do come easier. But that love must be reciprocated. That respect, that reverent, godlike respect that women will give their men or any animal will give their males. Even Even a goddamn praying mantis sacrifices shit. Sacrifices himself for his kids to come here. His own life. The woman, the creature he impregnates turns around and eats him. Or attempts to.
Because she don't want him impregnating no other females.
Yeah.
Same thing with the black widow spider. They trap the males after they kill, after they, you know, impregnated. And those things are huge.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which,
Lizzo?
you know, what I think about no, speaking of which, you know, not Lizzo, but I remember Patrice O'Neal said this. This was on the Elephant in the Room special he had. He addressed the women in the audience and said, ladies, if you got a good man and you know he's faithful and everything, go up to him and say, thank you for being faithful. And when he looks at you and wondering, what are you talking about? And genuinely mean it. You just tell him, listen, I understand as a man, it's hard for you to stay faithful and not want to cheat. You got to go against you. You got to fight your instinctual drive to mate with as many people, as many females as possible. But I just want you to know, I'm thankful that you're fighting for us. And I appreciate that. Because when a man is appreciated, when a man is genuinely appreciated, it's nothing to him to do that, you know, do the sacrifice and whatnot. I mean, because, you know, his happiness comes if he knows because he realizes he made the right choice. And if he tells his boys, his woman told him that, his boys are going to look at him like, she said that? For real? That's a good woman right there. But how many women are appreciative of the men they have in their lives? Kareem?
Next speaker.
Kareem?
Yeah, I'm appreciative. I love my brothers. I love my dad.
No, yeah, I mean the man that was in your life. I mean, despite all the.
I mean, I wasn't when he was in it, so that's why he's not in it no more, right?
Putting in applications now.
No, I mean,
she's moving to Baltimore soon. Oh shit.
No, I'm not moving to not moving to Baltimore. Sorry. Baltimore. Me and Baltimore don't have a good thing. So Baltimore definitely not.
Yeah,
I'm from Brooklyn. Why would I move to Baltimore?
It's like moving to Baltimore again.
I know, it makes no sense. If I move, I'm going down south.
Unless you're going to the counties like my dad did. He said, fuck it, I'm going to Baltimore County.
Shout out to Daddy Faulkner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Next move is down south. I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna get that. Plus, you know, like me and Kareem gonna get a house through the VA, so we're gonna be living good. So.
In VA, Virginia's nice though.
Oh yeah, I bet the Veterans Affairs.
You forgot that Charles is a veteran?
Huh?
No, I said, Kareem, did you forget that Charles is a veteran?
Oh yeah, that's true. I forget. So you get the free GI Bill, right?
Yeah, I get the housing and education.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's not free, but it's like, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nipples got hard for a minute.
Because I've dated a couple Navy dudes. I've dated a couple Navy people.
Navy first class. Okay. Oh shit.
Veterans. So I know they got good benefits.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, and it's funny because I always said like, hey, you know, my pickup line: who wants to go to school for free? And you gotta have an appreciation because I'm glad to hear this appreciation from a black woman, regardless if she's ADOS or not. It's good to hear black women speak so highly about not only the men in their family, but the men that are around them at work, the men that they come across on YouTube. It's such a pleasure because men need to hear this because this is reassuring that we still have some hope. It may not be everyone, but we're just glad to hear it. And it really touches a lot of men there to be like, you know what? So you guys still good over
I
here.
don't have negative experiences with men like these people. I don't know. Like I said, it's anecdotal, whatever you guys always say on this thing.
Anecdotal.
Yeah, anecdotal. But I always have good relationship with guys. Every guy, I'm not no like what you call it, hot girl or nothing like that. But I've always had like good good relationship with men. Men always treated me nice. They bring me coffee. So I don't understand why these girls are so stupid, because you want to have like men treat you nice. Like, who doesn't love that? Like, I don't understand those girls at all. So
Do
I
I
don't
gotta
know
sing that Diana King song now?
what. I think, like I said,
Make
the feminine
coffee,
thing,
make
they so
coffee.
stupid. I mean, just smile. You just gotta, your girl, just smile. Just be nice. Just be pleasant. Men will be so nice to you. They, like I said, at my job, they bring me coffee. They call me Smiley at my job because I'm always like, hi, how you doing? So just be friendly, nice. It's not hard to get a man. Men is so easy. No, forgive me, guys, but y'all very easy. You just have to be nice, and I don't understand why these girls are not.
We take pride. We take pride in being simple creatures. Okay? We take pride in it. If we get a nice woman, I mean, a woman who truly respects their man and loves them and cares for them, it's a beautiful thing.
I mean, I think if you treat each other well, it shouldn't be an issue. But I guess some people, like they said, they want to be on top. You know, the feminist thing is to be on top, right? That's their mentality.
And it's crazy that you say that, Kareem, because a lot of dudes will say, hey, you know what? I'm ready for this shit. But you still have women who look at the door and blame the guy who's not in her life for like what 20 months. That, oh, this is just a dry spell. No, like anytime you make an effort out there in life, you got to see it through.
Right.
You
You
Even if
know,
you
I was watching I forgot what show it was I was watching. I'm trying to remember the show, and it was a show on Stars. It's a show about this girl. She goes back in time. It's like a time travel show, so it's kind of sci-fi. It's romance, but it's sci-fi as well, right? So one of the things that they emphasize on the show, because it's the 1700s, is that men, like they keep saying that in a couple episodes, men, we keep our word, we honor our word is our honor. Like that's one of the things I I see that's missing too.
Outlander?
Outlander, yeah, I don't know if you ever seen that show. It's
I've heard of
like,
it.
it's men keep their word, but people of our generation we don't keep our word. We just like, so we're so I don't know, it's too easy. You're right, you men made it too easy for women, and like we're just like microwavable, like we're too easy. Like if you work hard at something, I think you appreciate it more, and girls don't have to work hard for nothing, so they're just so like whatever, you know. I think that's what it is. Maybe if they start
What was
working
it Prince
hard.
said? You don't value something if you get it for free.
Yeah, like men are so like accommodating to them. Maybe if they were more not, I'm like I said, not like, just be a little bit tougher with them, because they take advantage.
yeah,
And you know, I mean, I see it as, I look at as a like observer of it, as a female looking in, you know, and seeing how certain girls treat certain guys. I mean, yeah, you guys need to be a little bit tougher. That's my opinion. I mean, I don't date girls. You do. So if y'all should be tough with them.
yeah, we should be a little not just tougher. We should also hold them to the same standard they hold us.
Right.
You know, when it comes to femininity, like motherfucker, we not you, but of course, but oh, you be like motherfucker, I'm out on the ladder for you. You just all the things I can get, and I mean,
it's just like,
woman, what are you thinking?
I mean, people say I'm harsh. I guess somebody gonna say I'm harsh, but I feel like, yeah, you listen. If they don't treat you with respect, okay, well, we don't need to be, dump them. I think somebody, Roger. I know you're friends with Roger, so I can mention his name. He always encourage men to dump the girls when the girls disrespect them. I think you guys should do that because females will. Their friends will tell them, "Oh, he did this to you, dump him." You guys need to, like have standards and I mean, hey, if they don't want to meet the standards, that's their problem.
yeah,
You know?
just like going up for a job. If you don't meet the standards, you get cut. If you're
Yeah.
not doing anything to the abilities, you
I
get
mean,
cut.
it's love. Self-love. Like I said, you guys are selfless and you need to love yourself. Like you said, love yourself. When you love yourself, you want the best for yourself, and you got to demand that because females do. Oh, you don't make enough money. Oh, you don't this. I mean, I think that they should push that too for men. They don't push it. They push it for ladies. That's why ladies are like the way they are now. I think they need to push that for little boys. Self-love, love yourself, hold yourself in high regard because they don't do that for the little boys. I see it too. Like, I
They
have a
need that boy.
nephew now.
They need
Uh-huh.
the boy to be in a docile situation for the most part.
Right. Yeah, it's like the men
Because if
is
he doesn't love it, because they want that boy to think
right.
the only thing he can find love is from external uses, not from within. Even though we're supposed to learn happiness comes from within, but they don't want to learn that because they need him to be docile and easy manipulated.
Like the thing with sharing food. Remember, I think we had a conversation a couple months ago about how females don't share food for men, and I was like, I always did that. I always took my dad food out and gave it to him. Like now that my nephew is staying with me until my brother get on his feet, I make it like now to share his food for him, like to give him food to you like I feel like guys need that love too. They need that to be held in regard, like how girls are. Girls are treasured and they're held in society. Everybody treats girls well, and they don't treat boys good. They don't. I saw it now, and I'm like, oh my god, how could they treat their children like that? Because my mother always, even though we're black, but Jamaicans' mother treat their sons well. They they put them on a high pedestal, because my brother is put on a high pedestal, and it's similar to like how you said the Jewish community, like
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean. They do. I don't know who told you that Caribbean pair, but the Caribbean mothers, they do. The ones that are good, the ones that have common sense. Now, because like of course they have the bad ones, but they hold their son to like a high, like they put their son, like my mother treat my brother like a prince. Seriously. Up to now. He gets his food, his clothes washed, all of that. My mother still does that for my brother because he's divorced. So I don't get it when women don't do that for their kids. Like don't hold their kids or especially their boys in like high regard. They should do that because so they could feel good about themselves, you know?
I think the thing is like they don't want the boys to grow up soft. Sometimes they gotta be tough on the kid.
Yeah, but they're
And
boys. They still need to have feel protected.
not
I
in
mean, they're
certain societies,
children.
because I come from a society where we were taught to be a little bit tougher. Because
I
eventually,
mean,
because I come from a very traditional society, and unfortunately, some of the things that, even though I'm urban, even though those of us who come from the city, we still raised in that with certain values from our rural relatives. Like you're supposed to be a certain way at a certain age, and
yeah,
sometimes or
my brother could be tough with my nephew too, but I mean, but still, the mother. I'm talking about the mother. The father, yeah, the father has to do the structure, but I feel like the female should always have that. That's your son.
unconditional love for the child.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I
feel
understand
like
what you mean.
that's what women should always do. Like, have your child should always feel protected by their mom. Like your mom is that yes, your father protects you, but your mother should be there for their children, and they shouldn't have their kids like feeling like they don't have no love, like their mother don't love them. Come on, that's just, you should always
That
have
hurt.
that.
That hard. That hurts a lot. I mean, that does a lot of things to a child. Like if he's not loved,
Right. And
he's gonna try to look for love in all the wrong places, and man,
yeah,
does that screw a lot of people up.
and I think the mothers are like lacking. Like I see that, and I'm like just looking around at some, like me and my friends, they're married and we all have kids, and we one of the conversations we had about like one of her sons felt like she was putting too much pressure on him, and she said when he told her that, she felt so like hurt, like because she felt like she was such a good mother, but when he said, oh, you're putting too much pressure on me, she didn't want him to be to break, she didn't want to overwhelm him, so she felt hurt, and I'm like, that's what a good mother would feel like when your kids come to you and say, I feel like you're doing this to me. You should feel, hurt. You shouldn't be like, oh, they're wrong, because they're telling you how they feel. You as a parent should be like, okay, you know what? Let me adjust. Let me tell you why I'm doing this. These parents, I don't know. I'm seeing certain things, and I'm not liking it, and I feel so bad for the future, especially these younger kids. You see how they are. My daughter tells me about the kids in school. I'm like, where's their parents? The first thing I always say to her is, what's going on with their parents? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard being a parent, but I feel like parents need to step up. A lot of these parents aren't stepping up, especially the moms.
I mean, how many of them were taught how to be a parent is the question.
But you gotta learn. Like, there's no excuse now. We have so much things, resources. Okay, in America, in other countries, no, but America, everybody um protects people. They have so much, like, a safety net. So you have, if you can't help, if you need money, go apply for help. Social services help you. You need mental counseling, they will give it to you. They do help you, and so a lot of people just are using excuses, because
Mm-hmm.
yes, there's people with mental health issues, and there's people with, that there's going to be, everybody's not going to be perfect, but I think we could do a better job with how we're being parents to this generation. I think as a parent myself, I have to hold myself accountable. There's times when I'm like, okay, I feel tired, but I have to, like, okay, go take care of my child. I have to, see what she needs, because that's my child. Like, God gave me, like, I'm, how we feel. We're Africans. We love our kids. We feel like our children are blessings. Most African people do that. We do that. I don't know about these other people, but you and I know that we feel that children are a blessing to us. So we got this blessing from
Always a
God.
blessing.
Yeah, you have to. You
But
have to.
sometimes but sometimes we drive our parents up the wall. I'll admit that. My
I
mother
mean,
looked
yeah,
at me like
yeah, we
they
do,
had this.
but that's children. That's how children are. They're kids. They're gonna be kids. We're
Kids are
the
gonna be kids,
adults. We're
You
the
got,
adults,
but
and we have to understand that. You
and to
know.
raise them to be like, hey, come on.
Yeah.
But sometimes the problem is like mixed signals. I remember it was like, what, like you ever had a parent should tell you to be smart,
Mhm.
and then when you say something, they say, hey, don't be smart,
I know. We always like, oh, you too smart. Shut up.
or you spoiled or something like that. I'm like, or
Yeah.
you think outside the box. Sometimes a parent thinks you're defying them when it's like, especially if you have immigrant parents.
Yeah. They
Sometimes
don't.
when you start to
They
think
didn't
of
like
like
that.
locals, you're starting to become
Yeah.
like the locals. I'm like,
Well, I was
they're
always
like
into.
in the past.
They thought I was
Yeah, go ahead.
weird as a kid because I was always into like the sci-fi, the comic books, the superhero movies. But my dad was like, he raised me on like sport, like how, but that's how my dad would have me. He had me, you know, into all those things. So when I would say, he'd be like, "Oh, why are you doing that?" I'm like, "Hello, this is what you exposed me to." So it's so funny, growing up, that how they 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 want you to be a certain way, but then they kind of like suppress you in a little way. They'll be like, "Oh no, why are you saying that?"
Yes. Very true.
Yes.
I mean, my father didn't understand certain things I was into, but later on he realized, oh, okay, that's just how he is. They just didn't understand like a child's gonna be his own person, but you know, sometimes in the society where they came from, they don't understand it like that.
No, they don't. They weren't raised like that. They were raised that your children are an extension of you, and you have to, guide them properly. That's
Different
how my
country,
parents
different
really.
values, different
Yeah.
mentality, and we came to the other country, to this other country where they had their children. They forgot the children are gonna, you inside the home, they're gonna be like how you raise them, but outside they is where they got to do with that greater
No,
society,
my
and they're gonna
parents
have
would
to
be
interfere
like,
with that
no,
society.
let me hear you doing something out on the road. No, my parents wasn't like that. They didn't care if you was. My mother and father was like, okay, when you go outside, you carry yourself a certain way. We
Mm-hmm.
we that's why we have to have certain, like, you have to know how to behave yourself in every area you're in. Like at home, you could be a little loud and whatever, but when you go out, we have to be quiet. We have to be perfect little kids. That's how my parents raised us,
And
So
code switch like a motherfucker.
yeah, so that's why maybe that's why I could get along with so many people, because I know how to code switch. Because my parents taught me that from young. I mean, I think that's a good skill though, because that teach you teamwork, how to be a team player. You know what I mean?
How do it?
So
You can't be. You got to be like a bit of a chameleon in certain places. You can't
right,
be
you
going
do.
around like an iguana.
And I think too, one of the things why I do like my parents was, even though they were like, kind of strict, they did expose me to a lot and try to, you know, so I could have a better life. First generation, you work hard, but you want your kids to reap the benefits. And I think that's one of the things I love about my parents. So that's why I always hold them in high regard, because they did a lot of sacrifices for me. I mean, I talk about my parents all the time, but they were great parents. I don't think I'm half the parent that my parents was. Honestly, like the things that they did for me growing up, I don't know. That's what most parents have. I wish, like, a lot of times my sister does. She was in social services. She's no longer in that field, but she said one day she would come home and said to me, thank God for our parents, because the people she sees and the homes she had to go see. Mm-mm. So I guess we have to always count our blessings and be thankful for what we have, because other people have it worse.
Absolutely.
Um,
Someone near and dear to me once said that. Don't compare yourself to others because
right. My
their lives
parents will
might be
always say
more
that
sweeter.
too. Don't compare yourself to other people, because you don't know what they do to get what they have.
You don't know where
So,
they are. Just like I tell people, I remember somebody saying, I wish I were like you. I said, you don't ever say that. You don't know what I'm like.
yeah.
How
Oh,
I
I
am
meant to
here is
ask
not how I
you.
am in other outfits.
I
Mm-hmm.
meant to ask you, how is this Ukraine thing playing in Norway? Because I know y'all, yeah, I know you're not close to Russia, but I know you're a part of that Scandinavian.
Part of
Um,
NATO. We're part of NATO, so
yeah,
we're part of NATO. But the thing is, like Sweden and Finland are not part of NATO.
yeah, that's what I'm
But
saying, and I know y'all close to.
because of Russia's erratic behavior right now, it seems like it's going to drive them towards NATO. Even though
Oh,
even though Russia has made some threats, I'm like, you don't do that. Finland is neutral by nature,
and
has made it a
Sweden
point to
too,
stay
no?
neutral, but yeah, Sweden is neutral to an extent, but the Russians have had a tendency to like push the envelope every once in a while. They do some things just
But you really
to
think they would
just to
invade
try.
Finland and not Moldova? Because Finland could defend
Moldova
themselves,
is
no?
no. If they try to invade Finland, the dangers is that Sweden will get involved.
Right.
Because in World War II, a lot of people forget, and I wish Semper Fidelis was here because he lives in Finland.
Yeah,
He knows the
he's
history a little bit better.
he's
But
very
in World
good.
War II, Finland, Russia did try. The Soviet Union did invade Finland
Right.
in the dead of winter, and man, was it it was horrendous for them. They came against stiff because first of all, they were ill prepared for the winter in Finland. I mean, general winter in Russia is one thing, but winter in Finland, that's another thing.
Yo,
were not prepared for it.
that Russian propaganda though is strong. It's strong. Cause I have a friend, one of my best friends, she's Russian, right? She lives here. She's been here for 20 years. But it's like she's just on this Russia thing, and I'm like, you live here. You know, I understand you're Russian, so you're gonna have some Russian, pride, but come on.
She still got family back home. So she probably knows what the deal is.
No, but I mean, she think Russia is gonna take over everything. And I'm like, I don't think they're gonna allow them to do that. I mean, they are a superpower, right? They are still powerful, but you think the other NATO country is gonna let them go crazy? No. They could have Ukraine maybe, but they're not gonna let them take over no other country.
Moldova in itself has to be prepared for that, because there's a breakaway region they've had to deal with, but there's other countries who are now getting involved in this for their own nefarious reasons. Like, anybody ever heard of the Republic of Georgia?
Yeah, I heard about that. They have good wine. They have great wine.
Don't let the Armenians hear that.
No, their wine is the bomb, though. I'm telling you, I love Georgian wine.
Okay. Well, in 2008, they had a conflict with Russia, and as a result, two regions broke away from from Georgia.
Right, see, Coffee loves
their
wine too. See, he loved their wine too.
You know, knows it. Hello. So this Russia thing it comes as no surprise to me. I mean, it's no different than what I see in Ethiopia right now, because they have that civil war going on over there.
Oof.
And that is a whole mess. That is, in fact, I said like this Ukrainian thing, it's more of a distraction, because there are other regions, there are other places where they have more horrific wars going on.
I know, Yemen, right?
Forgotten. Yes.
Yeah. Yemen is.
Libya is still a mess.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about going to Afghanistan. I mean, but
I don't know. It's crazy.
We live in interesting times, as BGS would say.
Very good.
I mean, the only good thing about living in New York is like you get to actually hear people who come from these places. They're like, their experience. You hear their stories, because the news is so whatever. I listen to the news, but it's very like everything is propaganda, kind of. So it's good to hear.
It's a battle. It's look at it this way, Charles.
Yeah.
In times of war, that both sides are going to try to control the narrative. It's part of the military psyops. So what we hear, they're going to try to dilute, and both sides are going to try to air out each other's business while trying to make their side look like the better side, or the victims, or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, Russia invaded.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a war crime right there.
They're in the wrong.
They're trying to denazify what's going on over there, but then again, you forget that you have right-wing groups inside Russia itself.
Yeah, like that's what they keep saying, that there's Nazis in Ukraine, but so what? Isn't there Nazis all over?
There are neo-Nazis. And in fact, I remember they talked about one of the groups that are going to be you got other people coming into Ukraine on the behalf of Russia. You got Syrians who are going to be who are taking part,
and the Chechens too. I heard
Chechens. But however, you got Chechens on both sides.
Right.
You got Chechens on both sides. You got those who are part of the Russian-backed government in Chechnya, and then the ones who are on the side of Ukraine are the groups who are opposing that.
Mm-hmm.
Because as far as the ones who are on the Ukrainian side, when they look at their fellow brethren, they look at them as traitors to the Chechen cause.
Right.
Because what happened was the ones who are fighting on the side of Russia, they are loyal to the leadership they accepted the amnesty deal from Putin.
Right.
Which was seen as an act of betrayal by their fellow Chechen rebels.
But I hope they know that they look down on them, because I hear a lot of Russians and they talk really nasty about the Chechens. Like they see them as second-class citizens.
Chechen. It's not just Chechens. The whole everybody in that whole region, in that whole Caucasus region.
Mm-hmm.
Chechens, Avars, everybody in Dagestan. People in you ever heard of this people called Circassian?
No, I've never heard of that.
Circassians or Adagis, they call themselves, are an ethnicity who live in that, who are originally from that region, but they were forced out.
Oh wow!
When Russia invaded that region in the 1850s and 60s,
Mm-hmm.
trying to gain a foothold because they wanted a natural barrier. Because this is about geopolitics, they needed a natural barrier between themselves and the Ottoman Empire.
Right.
Because whoever controlled that area controlled, who controlled the passes between that area, because it's a rugged area there, the Greater Caucasus.
Yeah, because even like back in the day, that's where Genghis Khan like controlled that whole area, right? Back in the day.
Somewhat.
Right?
Anyway, the Circassians were among one of the many ethnicities that were forced out of there. They were subject to a genocide, and many of them had to flee, and they fled southward. You got large communities of them in Turkey. You go to the Palestine, Israel. You go some in Jordan, and you can tell that they are Caucasians because you look at them. They have white skin and light-colored eyes and whatnot. They have a culture all their own.
Right.
But they're predominantly Muslim.
Right. I mean, I've known, like I said, I've worked with a couple of those like people from Uzbekistan, whatever stan. I cannot pronounce all these stands.
Central Asia.
Central Asia. And one thing I know, they all speak Russian. Yes, they have their own native tongue. But
when I know, the Soviet Union?
Yeah, part of the former Soviet Union. But like non-Russians, like working with them, they will talk down on them. Even on Ukrainians, they talk down on them. Because a lot of the Russians I know are very like, oh, they're not good people. They're this, they're backwards, they're this. And I'm like, I mean,
you know what Ukraine means?
Yeah, I forgot what it meant, but I know
it means the frontier.
Right.
It means the frontier. So Ukrainians are considered the people of the frontier, despite the fact they're Slavic and have a language all their own that's similar to Russian.
Right.
And they all have the same writing system, but it's a little different for the Ukrainians. There's another group of people is Belarusians.
Yes, I have a friend that's from Belarusians as well.
Bela means what? Yeah, Belarus means white Russian.
Mm-hmm.
And they're an ethnicity all their own, but a lot of the Belarusians, a lot of Belarusians inside Belarus, they speak Russian.
Right.
Very few speak the native. Very few speak it.
I have a coworker.
Belarus fluently.
I have a coworker that's Belarusian as well, and she's telling me the whole story too. She's like, a lot of the Belarusians are only following Putin because their leader is in bed with Putin, and they are kind of forced to, because that leader in Belarus is very, very bad. He's treat the people in Belarus very bad, according to her. So she says she's not a part of it. She doesn't believe in what they're doing, but the people in Belarus have to go along with it because they really don't have no choice.
Yep.
So, okay, folks. We got any last words about the drift
Charles,
off?
I just gotta say, one, you ain't shit, and God bless you for it. And 8 a.m., you better be up because Snowman needs your support.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, anybody who's out there, subscribe to Snowman in the morning and listen to his take on the sports with his man, Cole Johnson. And if any of you are agent or cape for LeBron James, prepare to be triggered.
And I'm going to tell you what, everybody now subscribe to Snowman in the morning. If there was no Snowman, there would be no Officer Falk y'all listening to now. So please subscribe to him. And you're going to have a good time, especially for a lot of sports fans. There's no sport.
2 hours of sports and comedy. It's going to be interactive and everything. I'm having a lot of fun over there.
Oh, yeah. Corey, would you like to say anything?
Thank you for having me, and have a good night, guys.
Okay. Nice. And don't forget to carry chicken and a Blair card.
Okay.
All right. And for everybody else, Woo! And I believe you with some parting gifts.
Ooh, yeah.